I appreciate you. Yeah. Hey, about defunding the police. What do you think about that? I appreciate you. Yeah. Hey, about defunding the police. What do you think about that? I appreciate you. Yeah. Hey, about defunding the police. What do you think about that? All right. Oh, it's not pulled up. What happened to it? It was pulled up and now it's not. Where is it at? Oh, we'll go back to here real quick. Sorry, guys. There it is. No bueno. There we go. Now we're good. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We'll get into here another. I don't want to say change my mind because I'm putting my views on forward, but the way I look at it is you guys don't have to agree with me. You don't have to listen. You don't have to do anything. I'm just kind of worried for nieces and nephews that I have. I don't even have children, but the next generation in particular. And if I say something might resonate in the way that I think things should go. So if you disagree, you disagree. And I'd like to know why, because maybe you let me know something that can kind of resonate. That's why I do this. That's why I like ABL and how he does the phone call-ins. But let me know what you guys think. We'll get in here. Get a little preparation rip real quick. Hope you guys all had a good day. Maybe that led into a good night. And that'll lead into a good tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can kind of troll a little bit. Like, they ask why you like Donald Trump, I'm gonna tell them because of his hair. No, maybe not. I probably won't, but depends on who it is and how infuriated they are. I'm getting beat up nonstop. Gotta push back a little bit, I guess, and tell him how nice his hair is, right? For an old man, not wearing a toupee. Pretty good, not gonna lie. Alright, let's get into it here. Yo, dude.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, dude? Hey,
We're just about to copy and paste the N-word.
Why?
Because I've seen people do it before.
You're gonna do that?
No.
Oh, you're asking me if I'm gonna do that?
Yeah, because you were typing.
Oh no, no, I do that so that I don't show dick. I'm streaming right now. Oh. Yo, dude.
Yo, can I tell you something?
What's going on, G? That's what you gotta tell me? Yo, dude.
Yo,
Whoa.
you look like a stoner, my man.
Yeah, Trump 2020, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
I know you've got some black jokes, so let's hear some.
Black jokes? What are you talking about?
I mean, like that.
What's
I don't
that?
know. I know you got some good jokes. Alright, like, I'm gonna skip him.
We're good. What? Let me go like this. Alright, I got it. Perfect. Yo,
What do
dude.
you do? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. About yourself?
Not too bad. You look high as hell.
Feeling pretty good. About yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm about to go smoke myself.
Nice, man. Alright, where are you from?
I'm from Toronto. Where are you from?
Toronto, damn. What do you think about Cuomo? I'm from Arizona.
What do I think about what?
Toronto, that's in New York, right? Or is that Canada?
That's Canada.
Yeah, never mind. You're close to Canada. I mean, you're close to
wait.
New York.
Yeah, I'm fairly close to New York. Like New York's like a 20-minute drive, I think. No, that's so wrong. It's so much more than 20 minutes. It's like 3 hours.
Do you what do you think about America?
I've only been once. It was. You guys have delicious pizza.
Some pizza's pretty good in New York, right?
Yeah, I've only had it once. I've legit only been there once, but it's so good.
Where'd you go?
Joe's Pizza.
Hold on, you broke up. One more time.
It's just this place I heard. Joe's Pizza.
Joe's Pizza. Hell yeah.
I've
Good
heard
to
about
know.
it on pardon?
I said good to know. I've never been to New York.
You live in the States and you haven't been to New York?
Nope.
I
I live like complete opposite side. I'm in Arizona.
Still, like, bro, the only reason I don't like go visit all the time is because of the border. Like, the border is like so annoying. But
what do you think about the drinking age there? That it's 19.
oh, it's so in Montreal it's 18.
What do you think about that?
It's so sick.
You think it's better?
Yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't it be better?
Is there a lot of underage or people of that age getting DUIs?
DUIs, not necessarily, but there's a ton of kids drinking all the fucking time.
Do you think it's bad for the culture?
No, I think it makes for a funny ass fucking like time. I'm not even gonna lie.
Makes people stand out more than they would.
Yeah, and also Nelk boys wouldn't be a thing.
Hey, yeah, I know about Nelk. What they're going into now. What do you think about all their prostitution and shit?
I think it's funny. I think it's so funny how much just like they do. They're constantly just doing drugs. That's all the TherealEarthMonkey on YouTube.
Yeah, you like the. Oh. Yo, dude. What's going on, man?
Hold the line.
Hold the line. What does that mean?
Fuck Biden.
What?
Fuck Biden.
You don't like his hairy legs?
Yeah.
Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-life.
Me too.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hey, if you want to follow my YouTube, I have a whole video where I was asking people on Omegle about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I always have found like I used to be such a hardcore pro-choicer, like, but I'm talking about the ignorant ones. Like, oh my god, it's a clump of cells, like the uneducated dumb one.
You know what the best instance for me is that I figured out? The best thing I ever heard, sorry, not instance, but the easiest thing for me to tell them, because regardless if they believe about science or not, the easiest thing for me to tell them is just bring it to the idea, okay, so if you can at least get them to determine a trimester in a month, you get them onto the point, okay, so it's in the body, it's before it's outside of the womb, correct?
Correct.
If you can get them to that point, okay, then ask them this one question. If you can find on Mars right now little bacteria or little cells swimming in a pool, would you consider that life? You yourself, would you consider that life? Okay, and so
what's their typical answer?
What's that?
What's their typical answer to that question?
The typical answer is yes, I consider that life, but how do you compare that? But I mean, the fact is if you consider that life on a different planet, then it's not even on Earth, but you can find basically you can find life on a different planet. And what do you determine life at that point? If it's a little tiny bacteria and you find something completely different that's like something that's growing, and they kind of question, well, what's bacteria? And it's a single-celled organism, really, when you break it down. And at that point, like, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a big difference between bacteria and actual human life. Now, when you look at, it's not just a single-cell bacteria, and then you can even bring it to the point, okay, so let's say it's past the point to where the mom can find out about it. So what I say to them is, okay, so you could take the day after pill. Day after pill, you have no idea if you have a baby or not. You're fucking up your body regardless. So that we can't really dispute. You can do that, and you really don't even know if you have a baby. We don't know if it's a baby regardless. When you take a birth control test is only accurate about a month to a month and a half after. At that point, your baby has already started growing a heart. Not only is it a cell, not only is it possibly a bacteria on a different planet, but it has a fucking heart, right? Like, I mean, when you bring it down that path, it's just like, regardless of what you say, it has a heart. So if you can determine life on a different planet is just like, well, an alien doesn't have a heart, possibly, right? Maybe it's something else, but it's walking around. How do we determine that's an alien and it's like a life form? But you don't even say that something with a heart that we know and what we call life at this moment is a life, right? Like,
exactly. Oh my god! And I hate those people who bring up hypotheticals, like the things like when you make a claim, you have to substantiate your claim with statistics, proven information by scientists, or proven facts in general.
I mean, that's why I kind of brought in the, sorry to cut you off, but that's why I kind of brought in the factor of when a heart actually comes into play, so I can put a little bit of factual evidence and a little bit of theory. Like, theory is if life's on a different planet. Yes, I'm bringing it to that fact, but I want to put hardcore evidence on what we know and what we can see is actually human life when you find out about human life and when you can take a birth control test and tell you when you have life. Correct? I mean...
Exactly. Oh my god, you're so, and some pointers, like not pointers, but some arguments like you can use that I fold people on, like pro-choicers a lot of times. Like, okay, so if they say, oh well, I believe my body, my choice, one thing you could say is what gives the mother the right to terminate another human life?
Yes.
And if they say yes, that's a really good one. And
so Regardless, I'm sorry to cut you off again.
No, it's okay.
But all of the arguments that you can bring it to, they will bring it to basically that it's their choice. But if you can determine that it's a life, and then if they say, well, it's just a bunch of cells. Okay, so when does it determine a life? And they say when it's born. Okay, so would you kill something that's 9 months old? Say that it's going to be born in 1 week. You could have already had a premature birth 3 months prior, 6 months old. Right? It could have already been born, surviving on its own off of, not on its own, but possibly living off of other things. But it's already able to survive outside of the mother with the technology that we have today. So, like, you can't just say we're cavemen and it's just going to live on a rock, because no baby can do that. And if you do say that, or if it's brain dead, what about someone who does go brain dead and they're fully capable prior to that? Would you just kill them too? So regardless, when you look at it, okay, so you break it down to when the mother actually has a child. If you're not going to kill it at that point, because obviously the baby could have been born prior to this, and at the same point, it might be born in a week. So you're killing something that's going to be born in a week. We know this is going to be a baby. Okay, so then they'll be like, okay, well, obviously not that close. Okay, so when? Then you bring it back to just the actual time chart. But then you ask them, what about when it has a heart, right? And you don't even put any time zone into it. And they say, well, yeah, if it has a heart, I don't know, that seems kind of messed up. Well, that's prior to you actually being able to take a birth control test and find out if you actually have a child.
Exactly.
And then if they say, well, the day after pill, okay, well, then you can bring it to the bacteria on Mars. But, I mean, you can really refine every little point of what they're saying, because logically they don't want to kill anything either. They're just trying to stand up for the mom. But when you put the child's life, that it's not just something simple in the womb, that's really is the difference. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And oh my god, that's why I like some pointers like I use, like some arguments I use is, okay, so when they say it's just a clump of cells, I ask them, right? And I goes, and I'm like, okay, so if every individual on the planet is composed of the same thing, which are cells, and cells are the basic building block for any living thing on this planet. And then I say cells create tissues, tissues create organs, and organs create the organ system. So if you think a fetus is just composed of cells, why are you valuable to society? What do you contribute? And then they get stuck. They can't answer my question. They just look at me and I'm like,
no, you're on point. And the study that I looked into, so even if you want to bring it to kind of a religious kind of thing, the fact is they did a study, and what I tell people who don't believe in religion is, I kind of quote this study, but it's based off of, you know, majority of people, when they look at religion, they look at afterlife, and they look at what they're gonna have to own up to, which obviously you should worry about that, and that's not something that I'm trying to disregard, but like that's what they all look at, and that's what they don't want, is basically an authoritarian, and that's why they are anarchists, not only in religion but possibly in politics as well. So what I look at is prior, the reason that we are here, we still have not found out why. You know what I mean? We don't know why we're here. The fact is even scientifically, the fact that a heart starts to beat, it's a phenomenon in science. There's theories on why it does, but regardless, it's a phenomenon on why the heart clicks on like a light switch. We don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, and regardless, that's what I bring it down to. And then I can even cite kind of a study. I don't know exactly what the study was, but what they did is basically they looked at carbon dating, and through Darwinism, they were trying to figure out, you know, okay, so how did these things develop? How do they evolve in evolution? How did it work out? And doing the scientific method, right? What they found out was it wasn't that something would grow and then it would evolve through time. Well, no, it was more so of like a light and dark age. to where there was like 100 years where there would be a bunch of life, like all over the planet, a bunch of life everywhere, new species, crazy things happening, sometimes even disease, killing off certain populations, including more. Um, but regardless, there was a bunch of life, and then there was a bunch of death. So there would be no life at all. There would be plague. There would be bad things. And so what they studied was it was based off of basically the center of the universe and the way they were looking at the planets and how they evolved and what they theorized. But they were thinking it was kind of a pulse. It was kind of a life pulse that's kind of sent out. And so the test they did is they took, like you said, all the building blocks of life, like it's in the womb, but they put it in a test tube and they made sure nothing was living on it. They burned it all down. If they went into the room, they had to wear suits and make sure nothing got in there at all. And after about a week and a half, there was bacteria growing on the top of it, out of the living, or the building blocks of life, but nothing living. So, I mean, in that sense, it kind of like, where did this come from? Why did it just come out of nowhere?
Exactly. Wow.
So,
oh my god, that's so good.
It's just like when you think about it, like regardless, everybody can kind of believe in different religions. I just look at the fact that it's amazing that I'm even here and I'm able to have a conversation with you, and that's why I do it on YouTube and fucking yeah, dude.
Definitely. Oh my God. I agree with you like 110%. Literally, I hate like people who deny scientific information, like intellectuals who refuse to deny
Well, don't hate.
to accept like facts. And I feel like that's a lot of the problem with a lot of pro-choicers.
Well, yeah. You could say that, but what you also got to do, which some people might not agree with, but you got to put it into, like you say, that they try to bring it to kind of a thought process rather than a fact. But you really, sometimes when the facts don't work for them, like at that point, you got to break down their theology and break down their actual what they care about, right? So when you break down each little point, like I kind of just described to you how I do, like that's kind of the difference is like most people would have, like, if you didn't agree with me, would have already turned it off. Like that's the one thing I can't talk to people about, that even when I bring like Donald Trump up and how he helped the black community and he's pro-life and 500,000 black babies die a year, and only 7% of the population, like they just completely click out and hate me for it. But it's like, dude, I care about lives, and that's almost a genocide at that point. If it's a low part of our population, you're killing off that many compared to the overall national populace. It's half of the populace. It's like is dying due to this reason in this population under this race. You know what I mean? So, like, it just scares me, and I appreciate you for being pro-life. And
oh my God, yes, you're amazing.
She was awesome. Yo, dude.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
No, man. Looks like you get a lot of pussy, though, dude. No cap.
No, I'm actually more so in tune with the idea of actually creating a connection with somebody. So I don't give myself up freely. I've only had sex with 4 or 5 people in my life.
Respect, I guess. You married yet or no, man?
No, I'm actually not even talking to anybody. What I look at, I look at the fact that if a woman is worthy for me, I should be worthy for her. So I need to work on myself before I present myself. It's like a bird taking a bird bath before he goes and spreads his feathers, right?
Hey, Queen.
Yo, dude.
Yeah, I'm also
Hey, Trump 2020, baby.
Hey!
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You smoke, man?
What?
You
Hey, what?
Hi.
Yo, dude.
What up?
What's going on, G? You
Nothing
like
much.
Trump?
No, I don't. Fuck him.
Why?
Because he's a fucking bitch. He's a son of a bitch, too.
Why?
Because he just is.
Because why?
Because
Why do you
look like that?
Why do I look like what?
You notice how all you Trump supporters look the same? You fucking Republican bitches.
I don't know why you're so vicious. I thought Trump supporters are supposed to be vicious.
Why do you
but I
support Trump
fucking
though?
hate them.
I love his hair. His hair, compared to Joe Biden's leg hair, it's just on point.
Yo, well, you know Trump's not president anymore, and Joe Biden is. You dumb fuck.
Biden 2020, baby. You
When did
heard?
that happen? Is that when we went to the moon?
Yeah. But wait, can you just answer one question?
Nah. Yeah, and Joe Biden's our president, but what does that matter?
Okay, I'm asking you a question.
Yo, what's going on?
Why do you support Trump?
I really like his hair.
I can tell by your hair.
Now, let me ask you a question though. If you really want to know, because you've asked twice now, and I appreciate you for asking a second time, but my question, to give my answer properly, because it's not going to matter unless I actually appeal to you. What do you care about? Because I can talk about Donald Trump all day long and say whatever you want to say, but it's not going to matter unless it matters to you, correct?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not a politics person, but I just fucking hate the guy.
Well, I mean, if you're not a politics person, let me put.
What? Middle East?
Go ahead.
You can finish. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you're not a politics person and you just hate the guy, have you ever met him?
Yeah, I have actually. He's a son of a bitch.
Okay, well that's a different story. When you met him, was it what everybody had talked about?
Yeah.
Okay, so in my recollection,
I don't understand how you guys still support him.
Well, I could tell you why I support him if you want me to go off on that, but the reason why I tried. Yo, dude. You like Biden? Yo, dude.
Yeah, who do you support? I support Johnny since 2021.
You guys like
why
Trump?
Why are you Trump 2020 hat? It's 2021.
Because that's the guy I voted for in 2020.
Yeah, but it's 2021.
Is it?
Yeah, no fucking shit, sure. Like we've been living under a rock, like Patrick.
Damn, like, did you just read that out of a book or something?
No.
Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden's leg hairs? He said that kids love to.
Who the fuck votes for Trump or Joe Biden? I think we should have an anarchy, and I think I should be queen.
Why?
Because I got a fat pussy.
Anarchy is not you being queen. That'd be a monarchy.
What the fuck is a monarch? Fucking shit. Fuck politics. Fuck dicks. I want to clip.
Hey, so
fucking done. Why are you so titty tight?
What do you think about Joe Biden's hair? His leg hair, though.
I don't fucking know. What the fuck do you think about fucking Trump's man titties? Wanna squeeze them?
Have you ever heard of TDS?
You ever heard of an STD? Because I got 3.
Do you also have TDS?
What the fuck is a TDS?
I mean, it's pretty severe. If you are thinking the way you do, it's Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
My guy, do you know Candace?
Candace Owens?
Nah, Candy's nuts is your fucking face.
What?
There's license last week.
Yo,
like
dude.
we always talked about.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, follow the.
I'm just looking out for me.
What's up, dude?
Hello.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Do you like Trump or Biden? I wonder.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, no, do you guys like Biden though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Trump is racist, misogynist, and
I mean, you sound like the news. Give me a reason.
We're kidding. We're Trump supporters. We're trying to find Biden supporters.
Hell yeah! Hey, follow my YouTube.
Are you making a
You see, all the ones with arguments are Trump supporters, and the ones.
No, yes, I have videos like that for days.
They just wait. Where's my phone? I'll take a picture.
It's like, what?
Hey,
Some
let
girls-
me ask you guys as a question. What do you think, pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm leaning towards pro-life.
And what about her?
Yeah, same.
Pro-life? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The last girl, she was like, Biden. And then we're like, why? And she's like, why you? And I started talking. She just played music the entire time. That's literally all of them. Or they skip me when I ask why.
Hey, how old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 17.
Well, that's cool that there's a younger generation coming up that has ideals. Where are you guys from, if you don't mind me asking?
Florida.
Florida. Oh, it makes sense. Have you guys been to the Trump rallies?
No.
No. Well, that's cool. Hey, you guys are still repping. You guys got a good governor doing your thing out there. If you're able to do what I'm doing, and if you guys are actually having conversations, it would be good to show other people you talking to people, because what's funny to me is these people come on here and they're so vicious and so crazy, and it's like you hear Trump supporters are insane and they're like fucking crazy people, and it's like
That's a good point.
so I have it all, man. I'm trying to get it all. Like, I'm chill. I'm just trying to ask people questions, just trying to talk to people, but
They get so offended too, and I'm just trying to have like a simple debate, and they just like little assholes.
exactly. But yeah, go follow the YouTube, guys. I appreciate you a bunch, but I hope you have a good night.
Sir.
Later.
You too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
Sup, bro?
Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden?
I think he sucks.
Hell yeah. Trump 2020, baby. Hey, go follow the YouTube.
Well, almost, but I wish.
I know. It's not, but I voted for him in 2020. I should say voted Trump 2020 instead, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't even know. Joe Biden just sucks.
Yeah, what do you think about the whole thing that's going on with the coronavirus?
I think it's not. I mean, like, it's something, but it's like not that big a deal as it's being made out to be, for sure. Like, literally as soon as Biden took office, we changed the way we started testing. So now numbers are like crazy low, but like it's all just so blown out of proportion.
Did you hear the CDC released that the coronavirus test is a 50-50 shot for a false negative?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Glad we're killing people's livelihoods off of 50-50 tests.
Did you hear the World Health Organization said that if we were to go and shut down or lock down for an entire year, It would cost 150 million people's lives in starvation.
Goodness. That's. Oh. And, yeah. And the CDC even said lockdowns were bad. And we just didn't listen to that.
Well, the CDC doesn't want to be wrong because they want to follow the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization said this. Which is surprising. But their statement was based off of when you look at countries that produce things, but they aren't able to produce what's needed to survive. They just produce things.
If everyone stops working, like, how do people expect?
Well, even
people
harder.
To get the resources they need.
Well, it's even harder because the fact that if we close down borders, when you close down a border, these countries that don't produce food but they produce product, and they produce that product to get food or get money to buy food from other countries and get that shipped in to support their people, like India. You can cause a lot of deaths by shutting down borders and not allowing foreign trade that trades a lot of the food, because we get it from main regions rather than everybody supporting themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, world trading, just like some places
completely locked down, no trading at all.
Don't farm for themselves. Like, they get their food off trade, and like if they can't trade or travel or like.
The U.S. is a big exporter of food, and there's a lot of countries right now that we aren't able to export because of the coronavirus. And
that's crazy. I hadn't even thought about that aspect.
The tariffs that we did on China, the end of the deal is that they would buy more food from us, because they weren't upholding the deal prior that was based that America would make the food and you guys produce the product for us. So we were fucking over the Chinese people, but we had a deal set up to where they would buy food from us. And like right now this is the issue with Australia and China also, that the trade deals that they are having wars with, it's not supporting the food that's needed in China, and then also causing blackouts from energy in Australia. So it's a fucked up. What's up?
Fucked.
Well, we could talk about it. I mean,
we're just all fucked.
No, we're not fucked, man. What you can do is,
no, we're not. But
where are you from, man?
I'm in Utah right now.
If you're in
I grew
Utah,
up in California though.
Oh shit! Well, good thing you got out, right? No. Hey, if you're in
Yeah, no, for real, dude.
if you're in Utah, the best thing you can basically do right now is 2022. There's an election coming up that we can kind of take back a lot of what's needed in order to ensure better outcome possibly.
Sure.
I watched Dan Bongino and he broke down the numbers today, and we didn't lose by much. Which I don't know if you support Trump, but the idea of that is opposing idea of Trump. So in that regard, I like the idea of fixing that issue.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But word up, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good night, brother. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube, I'm live. I got.
Sure, man. What is it?
It's EarthMonkey. It's the profile though that has the Viking horns. There's only like 383 subscribers.
Here, don't go yet. Let me find it.
All right, for sure, man.
EarthMonkey. Oh yeah. Sick, man.
All right. I'll catch you later, man.
Good luck out there, man. Yeah, you too.
I appreciate it. Later, man.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on? Yo. What's going on, dude?
I'm biting my nails.
Why? That usually means you're stressed.
Because they're being annoying. The fuck? Obviously.
Wait, what? Oh, she froze.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on,
bro?
dude?
I talked to you the other night. I called you Earl Dibbles Jr. Or
What?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, bud?
Hey, did you check out the YouTube, brother?
I'll check it out.
Hell yeah. Hey, what do you think about
I'll go
there?
give you a follow, my man.
What do you think about that there Biden's hairs? His leg
I think
hairs.
he's ugly as shit.
You like Joe Biden's leg hairs? Republicans, Democrats, same people, same ideas. You've been T-rolled? You think so? Yo, dude. Yo. Jesus.
Trump 2020, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Trump 2020.
What do you think about that there Joe Biden's leg hairs?
Oh, bro. Get him out of office.
Already?
Yep.
Why so? Yo, dude.
Hey,
What's going on?
I like your hat.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, what do you
Yeah,
think
it's
about
very
Joe
cool.
Biden?
He's a fucking cum slut, and I hope he fucking drowns.
No, dude, you can't say that.
And I'll say it again.
No, that's a threat, dude. That's against the law.
I'm not putting it against the law. I just said he was a cum slut.
Wait. Okay. I mean, that's speculative. I don't know if that's true or not.
You look high.
I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Hell yeah, brother.
I mean, yeah. Me too.
No, not good. Yo, dude.
Hello. You like Trump?
Yeah.
Hey, you do have a hat on. I like Trump too.
Hell yeah.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
if you want to follow my YouTube, I'm asking people about Joe Biden.
Okay, I will.
What do you think about him? Oh.
Pumpernickel.
Yo, dude.
What's up, bro?
Yo, dude.
How you, man?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, bro. I can tell you're a Trump supporter too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Let's
like
go,
Trump?
bro.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, my uncle's actually. Hey, I got you, bro. Hey, my uncle was actually one of the protesters at the Capitol, and he said that Antifa actually started it.
Yeah, and, if you look at the timeline, and Trump was still giving his speech. Was your uncle there up until the end of Trump's speech?
Yeah.
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 So he was a good man, in my opinion, because he was
Sucks
20.
to see him go, bro.
What's that?
I said it sucks to see him go like that.
Your uncle?
Media is all. No, not my uncle. I'm talking about Trump. Like 4 more years, bro. Literally everybody wanted that.
Well, I think the funny thing is right now with the impeachment going on, it's kind of making the Democrats look bad because it's not going to do anything in the long run. And all it really is doing, in my opinion, is giving the news like another month and a half of segments.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't know, man. I'm still kind of shocked about this whole situation, I guess.
Yeah, and same here. It sucks, but in the long run, we weren't far away. If I watched Dan Bongino and the numbers he was bringing up today, was like, wow, we really were not far at all. And the idea of like a third party, he always talked against, and then he brought up these numbers on how close we were in the election, to where, like, you know, next time around, there's no doubt that it's gonna be even further. And what his words were, basically. He didn't say that specifically, but in sense is what I was getting. You know what I mean?
Bro, that shit is crazy. Like, actually, that shit's crazy. I just wish I cared. You know? I really do wish I cared. But you take that L, okay? Take the L. All right? Have a great day.
I mean, it trolled for days. Yo, dude.
Not much, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm doing good too.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden?
I think he's a fucking idiot.
Why is that?
He's just an idiot. What
No.
about you?
Well, I mean, he said he wasn't going to be an authoritarian kind of president, but he's already put in 43 executive orders now, so.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In my opinion, that's a little bit more authoritarian than I'd like.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, dude. Yo, dude. Yo.
Just skipped.
Yo, dude.
Yo, Scooby or Shaggy.
Dude, what's going on, G?
Bro, what did you take today? It's not just weed. Come on.
Oh, I was drinking a little bit.
Well, I'm drinking too, but I refuse to believe that's all you've been doing.
A little bit of this, a little bit of
Birds?
that, a little bit of this.
Oxycodone. Is that air duster?
No, this is
Whoa.
a little bit of marijuana, a little bit of some drinky. And
I refuse to believe you're only crossfaded right now.
hey, you can believe what you want, man. That's fine.
Where are the pills?
Hey, what do
Where
you
are the
think
pills?
about Joe Biden though?
I hate that dick sucking nigger.
Jeez, man, why?
EarthMonkey on YouTube, profile with Viking horns, not the cartoon nigger. Live right now. You're live?
Yeah, dude.
All right, right on, dude. I hope you have complete success with your channel, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. Go subscribe, brother, and follow along.
Yeah, I will, man. Right on.
You
want some weed?
The weed?
Do you want some weed?
I mean, where are you?
Get the blunt.
Hey, I got some weed.
Alright, peace.
Yo, dude.
Wait, can you see me too?
Yeah, I can see you. Yo, dude.
Trump 2020.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, bro, they definitely rigged this
Make
election.
America great again.
Make America great again, bro. Who's Biden? Who the hell is Biden? He don't represent me. And guess what? I'm black, so I don't care.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, you gotta be educated to support Trump.
Yeah, dude, where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
And yeah, we black voices for Trump.
Hell yeah, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you being real or?
No, I voted for him though. For real, for real.
No, you can't vote, obviously.
What do you mean I can't vote? You think I'm an immigrant? I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a Southern Belle.
How old are you?
24.
No.
I just look like a chocolate baby. They call me Chocolate Thunder.
No, I do appreciate that about the black community. You guys' skin is so fair that, you know, when you're 50, it looks like you're 30. So if it is the case,
makes me so mad when people who vote for Trump are considered racist. Not everybody who votes for Trump is racist. I don't think you're racist.
I appreciate you. Hey, you sound like you're really legit. So if you want to follow along my YouTube, I'm sorry that I'm so skeptical. It's just like I get trolled so much, and I really appreciate you for saying that.
I appreciate you too. Stay blessed, buddy.
Hey, you as well. God bless. Hey, let me ask you one last question.
What's up?
What do you think about the impeachments going on right now?
They ain't gonna win. They never win.
Okay, and then what do you think about the coronavirus?
Coronavirus, unfortunately, is real, but I don't think it's as much as a big deal as this. The Earth has always viruses, and that's it.
Yo, dude.
What?
Yo. Yo, dude.
Hey.
What's going on, man?
No much, man.
Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden?
Sleepy Joe, man. Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe and the have you ever used a garden hoe before?
Yeah, if I can rake him up.
Everybody together. That troll came out of nowhere with the blue shirt, dude. Oh, that happen often. Yeah, it does. Happens fucking all the time, man.
Wholesome, I'm sorry.
It's him again, dude. It was him. It was that guy. Right when you said it.
What you're saying, every one of these lines, let's say we did take Antrim County.
It's Mike Lindell. It was the Mike Lindell documentary. Someone was streaming it here on Omegle.
Alright, girls, just...
Yo, dude.
Are you alright?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. It look like you've been crying.
I do?
Yeah, you got like red around your eyes.
I mean, maybe,
Unless you're stoned.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoned.
Oh, I'll give you that then.
Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden?
I'm not a fan.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, if you want to follow along, where are you from, bud?
I am from England.
And you don't like Joe Biden in England? What do you think about Donald Trump?
Not much better or worse, just same.
What do you think about Boris Johnson?
Don't get me started. Terrible.
You hate him?
Oh, I don't hate him, but he's just not doing the right thing. Like he's an alright guy, but yeah.
What do you think about pro-life or pro-choice?
Oh, why? What do you think?
I'm pro-life.
I'm pro-choice.
Why?
I just feel like I know this is like the main thing everyone brings up, but like if someone has been impregnated by something they weren't consented to, or
So if they get raped,
they didn't read to, yeah, or like yeah. So I just feel like at that point, like
so
I think it's
if I were to put it like this, 97%, at least in America, it's the facts I know, kind of. 97% of America doesn't do it for that reason. 3% do it because either rape or health issues, or health issues of the baby. So if we look at and take away the 3%, would you agree that the other 97% are wrong?
I don't necessarily agree with a late abortion, so like, you know, a few months, like 4 or 5 months in, because that sort of seems like they should have made their mind up earlier. But I feel like it's still really important to know what who the carrier, like what they want, because I know obviously like late on into like pregnancy, the baby is gonna start, you know, heart starts beating, starts like.
So
but I feel like
would you take it to the point like if you have a heart, like you can't do it?
Yes.
So if I told you that a heart starts to develop 3 weeks in, and a birth controlled test is only accurate about a month and a month after, the heart is already.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To be fair, but that's.
The heart's already
what I mean
started.
is like the earliest stage of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The heart's already started, and if you agree that if it has a heart, I mean, you can't kill it. And
Well, yeah, it may have a heart, but it's not breathing, is it?
Well, it has a heart though, right?
Yeah, but I mean like living.
Well, if
I mean, yeah, it can have a heart, but like, yeah.
I mean, that's the real question, right? Like,
yeah, because
when okay, so it has to have a heart and be able to breathe.
Mhm.
I mean, what's the difference if it can't breathe on its own after it comes out?
Yeah, well, if it can breathe, it technically has a mind at that point and can actually like take things like, you know.
Well, let me ask you this, because I heard it in like kind of a strange way. Would you, if they found out right now, let's just say hypothetically, if they found out right now on Mars, there's bacteria that's completely different from anything that we know, or there's little things swimming, little single-celled organisms swimming around in water, would you say that's life? Life on a different planet? Like we found life on Mars. Would you say that?
Yeah.
You would say that?
I'm not sure because I wouldn't really know how they're living or if they're.
Well, it's a single-celled organism. I mean, it's a living organism, right?
Yeah, but like, it's. I think it's just to the extent of like being, you know, having a mind and like I don't know. It's just I just don't like the fact that, and I agree with the fact that like, you know, like late abortions aren't really responsible, but I just feel like the person should have a choice.
Well, I mean, and I agree with you, and I think their choice is what they do prior. I don't think their choice is to take someone else's life, because I think it is a life, and when they are able to find out about it, even if you disagree, I think just even looking at the heart issue, that the heart, you can't even find out before a heart's already started.
Well, if you're in that difficult situation, like financially as well, like growing up and you've realized that you haven't hit.
I agree.
I agree. You can take it as selfish, but like,
but
they need to save their own life.
Agreed. So if you're looking at the fact that they can't afford it, well, adoption. There's women every year that aren't able to have babies that are looking to adopt. They make it pretty strenuous to be able to adopt to make sure that the kid has a good life. So I mean, if they do get adopted, they're gonna have a good life. And regardless, growing up in a social aspect, what I said though, growing up, that's the issue, is you're able to grow up. So regardless if it's a bad, you know, situation that you're in, it's not your decision to take the life, and that's just where I look at it at. You know what I mean? Like, if it is a life, and you're taking the life, and you're not able to support the life, you shouldn't be able to kill it either. Your decision should be, okay, well, this life is here. I messed up. And when it comes down to it, I have to suffer for 9 months or this baby dies. You know what I mean? So really the main question is this baby going to die or am I going to suffer for 9 months? Because I can give it to adoption.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, but I feel like you would suffer more than 9 months.
What's that?
I feel like you would suffer for more than 9. I feel like even if you did send the child off to adoption, it would, you know, it would affect you mentally and would really like take a toll on you because you'd realize how like obviously like a lot of people are completely irresponsible. I know people who have like been impregnated at age like 16, 17, and I do think that they should have had an abortion.
Well, I mean,
because they're in difficult situations now.
What you're bringing it to the mental capacity of one compared to the mental capacity of two. And there's two people involved. So when you say that the mother's going to be affected, well, the child dies. I mean, and that's really
but the child didn't know it was alive in the first place at that point.
But the child is alive.
Yeah, but it doesn't know that.
What does it matter if it knows? What if it comes out brain dead? What if what if your grandpa goes or your mom goes brain dead tomorrow? She becomes a potato. Would you just kill her? Like, she doesn't know. She's not gonna know if she's alive or not.
But when you're old, you'd know.
No, she's a potato now. She has no idea what the hell's going on.
Well, that's up to the family.
No, it's your memory. It's your observation. It's what you see.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't want my mum, if she had that, to suffer with that either.
Well, obviously you wouldn't want her to suffer, and that's the main point, is you wouldn't want the baby to die. You wouldn't want your mom to die, regardless. You wouldn't kill them. Like, in my opinion, I wouldn't kill them. But if it was your mom's situation, she came out brain dead tomorrow, and she was a potato, and she had no idea if she was alive or not. She couldn't even take a shit on her own. Couldn't take a piss. Like, just hypothetically, you know what I mean? Like, would you kill her? I don't think you would. I think you would love your mom, and I think people love children.
You know, that in my opinion, that's not my mum anymore.
I mean, would you help her?
Yes, I would help her as much as I could, but if I realized there was nothing that could actually help her.
Why would you help her if it's not your mom? Who are you helping?
Wait, if it's not my mom?
Well, you said it's, in your opinion, not your mom anymore. So who are you helping?
No, I'm helping her to try and be my mom. But what I'm saying is, if it goes past the point of no return, then it's no longer my mom, and that's when.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If it is no return, would you kill her? She's still able to survive.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean when the pregnancy's lately developed. That's when I don't think it's right.
Well, no, I'm just saying tomorrow, if your mom is past return, and you have no idea what the hell is gonna happen in 9 months, that it could be fixed. But if she's gone right now, she has no idea who you are. What's up?
Well, I would know, wouldn't I? If it was gonna be, if there was a way of helping her.
Like with the birth?
No, because that is literally the opposite thing in life. Like you're talking about someone who's lived the life and then they can't feel that anymore, whereas I'm talking about someone who can't feel the life, who hasn't yet lived a life. So they've not lived the life, so that's why I
babies that get aborted. There was a story that came out that just completely disgusted me. And the story was that a doctor had went on Twitter and went onto a feed and told about how when babies come out and she gives them abortions and they come out screaming, the first thing she does is cut their throat so that she doesn't hear them scream.
But how late is that into the pregnancy? Because that must be quite late.
I have no idea, but regardless, I know
if a baby can scream, that's like 2 or even a month before they would have been born. I think.
I know things feel things, and this is the same reason why when you look at pregnancies that have issues with the moms who can't support a baby, the baby will be basically attacking the mom. So I mean, the baby does have capability to support itself, or at least kind of stand up for itself in a sense. So if you look at it like that, it is protecting itself. And when you're going in there, and I don't know if you know how abortions work, but they go and put in a rod and they grab the spinal cord and they twist it and they rip it out. and try to get it all out in one piece. And then when they don't, they go back in with pliers and get it out piece by piece. And then you eventually push out the placenta, and yeah, it's pretty gnarly. But when it's a full grown or a little bit more grown, they do it more strategically for some reason and pull it out full. But the doctor came out and said that she cuts the throat to make sure she doesn't hear the baby screaming. So,
well, I think the problem is that there's morals on each side, because it's really difficult to just decide on one. So I think that as of now, it's more important to have the law not be able to affect a choice and just have it be a choice for now, because then you can discuss that with people
Well,
who you know, and like
that's the law, which maybe okay, but what the real idea would be, in my sense, be careful when you have sex. Like, why aren't we talking about the actual creation and how it happens?
Yeah, I agree. If you do it by a complete accident, that is your fault.
Well, okay, so accidents happen, but preventions are also there. You can walk around with a torch in a dry forest. It's a tinder torch, and it's gonna ember off and possibly light the torch. Well, or you can walk through with a lantern. You know what I mean, and protect it, right? So
yeah, but it's not impossible for someone to use a lot of protection and still conceive.
Agreed. So that's what I bring into, like, okay, and we already kind of went down it, but what I would really say, even with rape, if I didn't want to bring it down the other path I went down, is why is it the baby's fault? Like, if something did happen and it's wrong, and yes, we can't afford it, I got raped, I'm gonna have whatever, like, why is it the baby's fault?
Yeah.
So, like,
well, that's the thing. If it's a rape and the woman ends up having the kid, the only person who is getting punished there is the woman. So why is she getting punished for something that happened to her?
Not necessarily.
Well, I think so, because
I think all three would get punished if the baby died, and the reason I say that is because, like you say, the woman's definitely getting punished. If the man gets caught or brought to justice, if he doesn't even, it's gonna dwell on his conscience for the rest of his life. And if the baby,
or he might do it again.
What's that?
Or he might do it again.
Yeah, he might be fucked up in the head and think better on it, but. And then if the baby dies, I think all three people lose. Regardless, two of them are going to lose. The baby can win out of this situation. Yeah. So.
Well, if you think of it this way, would you
basically?
If someone...
hold on. I gotta put one more. Two wrongs. That's fine. Don't make one right. So.
Okay, I get your reasoning now. I do get your reasoning now, but I think, say if someone was sent to prison for murdering someone, right? If you were related to the person that was killed, what would you want to happen to that person? Would you want them killed straight away, or would you want them to suffer their whole lives in prison?
So this is the next issue that I'm kind of debatable on to the death penalty, and I don't agree with the death penalty, because the way that I look at it is it's a lot harder to unlearn something than it is to learn something. So when
you don't agree with the death penalty?
Well, when I look in the regard that babies, when they come out, a baby won't go up and hit you. They won't come up and fight you. A baby comes out and they're sweet and they're smiling and they're new to the world and they're exploring and they're learning. So when you teach people to go up and hit people, that's a bad teaching, and it's really hard to unlearn that teaching because of the general census that it's really hard to unlearn something once you learn it, and it's ingrained in you possibly. But there is psycho babies possibly, but in the long run,
my point is that, like,
go ahead.
My point is that if someone was killed in my family due to a murderer, I would rather have that person live their whole life in prison and have the worst life than be killed. And that's almost what's happening to the mum if she has to live with that baby when it's, she's not prepared for it and she wasn't ready for it and she didn't expect it.
I mean,
she almost has to suffer her whole life instead of just like.
In a sense.
And I know what you mean. It's like it is like. I know you're thinking of like the sense of like the baby is also alive, but I feel like it's too early for it to be classed as that. Like, even though it, I just feel like it's not classed as that life yet.
Let's put it into this sense: a baby grows up in a bad life its whole life, around bad things its whole life, and it's imprisoned. But then it learns the difference between right and wrong, and it breaks through, and then it starts a new day, which is tomorrow, right? And instead of dwelling on the past and trying to predict the future based off of their past, they live in the moment.
Right.
So, yes, it's a very horrible thing, but what I look at is people who come from very bad things.
Yep.
And they do good things out of that bad thing in the opposite manner. Possibly like getting raped and then not having an abortion and telling people that, like, yeah, it sucks, but I don't know my child, and I did have an adoption, and he's living a good life now. But regardless, whatever, if you want to look at drugs, if you want to look at crime, these people who possibly even went through war and went through very traumatic things and did very bad things that they weren't super happy about themselves doing, when they go through these things, they can grow from them. So it is bad, but again, I bring it to, why is it the kid's fault? So
it's not the kid's fault.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be.
I know, but it's by having an abortion, that doesn't mean you're blaming the kid.
Well, it's a consequence onto the kid.
Yeah, but you're saving a life technically. You're saving a life as well.
How so?
Well,
abortion still can have mental issues in the long run.
Yeah, I know, but you're saving a life in the fact that, like you said, so like obviously if the woman did have the kids, I agree in the fact that if it was just from being stupid, then they needed almost. I mean, I'm not saying they legally should, but they morally should try and raise it and make it have the best life it can. But I feel it's just some situations that would make the baby's life a lot worse than if it wasn't aborted.
I mean, the outcome is dependent on what you see, and it hasn't happened. So
yeah, but I think the longer the suffering is, the worse.
I mean, you'd rather kill something soon before later, then that's the same question that I would bring to possibly like your mom or your grandpa. If they were suffering, would you kill them, or would you try to help them? And in my regard, I think most people would want to help people they love, and I just love all people. So it's just like, why are you trying to kill him, dude? Let him live his life. Let him do his own thing. If he has a fucked up life, well, hopefully he learns from it. If not, maybe he'll add to the society and let us know that this is a statistic that you probably shouldn't be part of. But in the same instance, who am I to say that you should live or die? So I'm not going to say that you have to give birth, but what I am going to say is you shouldn't be able to kill somebody. So in that sense, like, I don't agree with the death penalty, and I don't agree in the same sense with killing a baby, because I think that's a death penalty to the baby and the consequence of whoever's fault it was. So
well, yeah, I think the overall thing is that, like, even though we don't agree, there's certain things we do agree on, and it makes it a really difficult situation.
It really does.
Because it's really between and like in the wires that it's really difficult to.
Well, I mean, my
really
principle
sort out.
is full on do not kill. So I mean, and my real idea is what you agree. You should be careful when you have sex. You know, there's contraception.
100%, yeah.
There's you not having sex at all, and then there's also birth controls.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. In situations like that, I don't understand why they wouldn't enter that situation without any sort of protection. I agree with you there.
And in that aspect, I don't think that if you did fuck up, like just let's just say something did happen, I don't think you would kill your baby.
If I did,
No, I don't think you would.
you don't think I would?
I don't think like you would even be able to be into that situation first of all. And
Oh
if it
yeah, no,
just-
yeah. I'd prevent the situation. From
Yes, yes, yes. And then at the same sense, if it just like something rare and anomaly happened, I don't even think you would kill your baby.
Why do you think that?
Just based off of what you're telling me. Like, would you?
Yeah.
You would?
If I found out early enough, yeah. Because I would not be able to raise that child.
What if you were able to give it to adoption though?
Well, if that's an easier option, then yeah, but I'd have to hear the other person's side. I can't decide.
The other partner, correct? But on your aspect, if you did have adoption and everything worked out perfect, you would rather prefer adoption than killing.
Yes, but that's not saying I don't agree with the choice. Do you know
So
what I mean?
basically it's like a 25-75. So if she
I felt there needs to be a discussion first.
No, that's what I mean. If she just said straight up
No, I'd say
like basically if she said straight up no, then you would say no.
Straight up no to what?
Like no child at all.
Abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and rival that because I couldn't physically understand how difficult that would be to go through.
Hey, fair enough. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
But if it was 100% your choice, let's just say it's a completely different world and you have the decision, you wouldn't be ready basically right now. Do you want to have kids basically one day? Not at all.
No, I gotta be extra safe.
Or you get your balls snipped. I mean, that works out too.
Oh yeah, probably.
I mean, it's not a bad idea if you think you're going to be doing it a lot.
And if I didn't and it happened, it would be my fault.
I mean, in sense, you're half the reason, correct?
Yeah.
And it's a lot more pleasurable. So.
Is it? What do you mean?
Without having possibly a condom, so.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know what it is going to be possibly without having, that. But if you don't ever plan to, and you don't want to ever have that happen, it might not be something bad to look into. Why don't you want to have kids?
I just feel like I want to be as free and able to do what I want throughout the whole of my life. Because I feel I know, like, if I did have a kid, it would be everything. It would have to be everything. And if it wasn't, I would be doing something wrong. And I don't think that I want that responsibility. It sounds immature, but I don't want to have to deal with something that stressful.
No, you're cool. You're cool. Do you have any family members that have children?
What do you mean?
Like, basically, you seem like a cool dude. You seem like a smart guy. If another child was passed on who had the same kind of mindset as you or general mindset, it seems like it'd be a cool thing. And I always think, like, yeah, like, I can have fun in my life. I can do things. But in the long run, I do want to kind of pass on what I've learned and hope that tomorrow continues, you know what I mean? So if everybody kind of had the mindset of you, we would have no tomorrow. And so I just always kind of question, like do you have any family members or anything like that that would be able to do that? Or would you be worried that you know, your entire family at that point would be ended.
No, that's not. No, yeah, everyone like most of my family have had a kid.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
if
And I think
something's
that's the
already
good
gonna
thing.
go,
That it's split. It's not like no one in the world has a kid or no one in the world doesn't have a kid. I think it's good that it's different.
yeah, no, it is good. Because possibly overpopulation or overgrowth.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
we're able to supply for the population. What would you say to how China has it to where you can only have one boy and one girl, and after that you have to have an abortion?
Be safe. Just be safe, you know. Again, if
would
it
you
was,
say that's a good thing though?
It is. It's difficult, but it is.
Would you say that's a good thing?
Oh no. Well, I can't say. I mean, I can't say I would have it in the UK because it's not as overpopulated. So I think for China, it is almost like a choice that like.
I just look at it like
very
this.
hard.
I look at it like this. Like I can agree to a certain point with you that you have your own decision. I don't agree with it, but you have your own say.
Yeah,
right?
but you understand why I think that.
Yeah. So
as I do to you.
Yeah, exactly. So we can have a conversation, but when they go and tell me that now what I say doesn't matter, and there's a law that prevents me, right? So now we aren't having a conversation about my idea and your idea. We're having a conversation about your idea and how we can expand on it so I can get to my idea, right? So I just kind of look at it as like that's the difference between communism and, you know, the U.S. republic, constitutional republic. Like we have the Constitution and it allows us to have rights, and it doesn't prevent us from having whatever amount of kids we want, you know?
Yeah, the opinions are very important, but I also really disagree with people trying to enforce.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're you know, sexist, racist, or you know, homicidal.
Agreed.
Everything except for that, like everyone deserves
against
their
the
own
law,
opinion.
basically.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to feel like you're wrong if you have an opinion on something like that.
Yeah, and then in that sense, like, the population might be a little too much, but regardless, if you feel that you can support or you feel that it's not right to kill something, I mean, in that regard, to go and tell somebody not only what to do, but you're telling them to kill, so it's like, holy shit, man, you can do so much in China to say that, yeah, it's a cool whatever, this and that, but that's just like, that's out of the water. It's like, what are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, like if I think if China like genuinely isn't like overpopulated to the like potential,
well, what if it
like,
is?
Like actually affect the country, then no, I disagree, and I do think that people in China should be able to have as many kids as they want.
If it is overpopulated,
it depends how overpopulated, or if they have, say, X amount of kids more than they should, would they move away?
Let's say that it's completely overpopulated. Would you still impose that?
Well, I don't think that would be that I don't think at that point the person would actually be able to have a choice.
Well,
because it would affect everyone, every single person, because it would be very difficult.
They probably, in my opinion, they wouldn't want to have a child, but to kill something.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
To kill something they wouldn't want to do still, so they would have the child unwantingly. And in the same sense that if somebody went through a pregnancy, which has happened a lot, who went through it, who did get raped and had the child, didn't give it up for abortion and actually had that child and raised it, which I think one time I actually did talk to somebody on here, or might have been on my live me, but their experience was like, wow, I mean, the instance, like, why would you, I can't even put myself through that, and it's insane to think about. But even though all of that happens, she still worked her way to push past it. So I mean, yes,
well,
it
it
would
depends
be.
on the mind. It depends on who it is.
Yes, it would be bad in overpopulation, but what's to say that you can't go and move somewhere different? The statistic I heard, everybody in America can fit into Texas with an acre of land. It's probably less now because the population has grown, but everybody in America can fit in Texas, just the one state, with an acre of land. So if there's overpopulation and you look at the size of Asia and China, I mean, it's a pretty big place, right?
I agree.
So I mean, what do
I know? Yeah, there's got somewhere for someone there.
it seems a little too soon to say, yeah, we're freaking out. We got to do something. I think it's really the idea that when you get a mound of ants and you have them start to collect food for you, and that mound of ants becomes a mountain, and you have not a small amount of ants, but you have millions of them, and they're still collecting food and living bad conditions. There's the idea that there's a possibility the ants might stop collecting food for you and do it for themselves. So
yeah, it gets a bit apocalyptic.
yeah, when you go and start imposing laws and tell them how they live their lives, and you do it harder. Just recently, they came out and said that the boys in China are too girly, or too feminine, and they're not creating enough men, and the generations are showing mostly women, and there's not enough testosterone, so they're bringing back PE, and then they're also going and introducing basically military school, and all of the children in Hong Kong and Beijing and are now being introduced to military school to make them more manly, and creating a next generation of super soldiers.
Yeah, I don't understand that. If you want to join the military, join it. If you don't. It's just, I think it's ridiculous to force something like that.
Oh yeah, it's forced. Just like it's the same that if you're online and you say something bad, you'll be brought to jail. And then they have education camps that you go to for 3 months, and it teaches you what's right and what's wrong. That's in China right now.
I mean, apart from like the law, there is no definition on what is right and what is wrong.
Oh no, there is. If
you I mean, depending on the law. I mean, like
their law says what's right and what's wrong, and if you say what's wrong, you have to go to an education camp for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that shouldn't be the way. Yeah.
And one of the tests that they do is to learn how to make your bed properly, and some people have to go as long as 6 weeks in order to learn it on a day in day out basis to learn how to make your bed.
Well, that's a waste of 6 weeks.
I mean,
learning a
when you break it down to Jordan Peterson, he says in order to have a proper life, you have to have a good house setting, good nesting, basically. So to make your bed and wake up and do things that are productive is a good thing. So that's kind of their idea, and to get you in the mindset of doing good things, they do this first.
Yeah.
And then they move
morally, not enforced.
No. Enforced though, when they do it enforced, it gets you in the mindset of doing something proper, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do something proper, then they introduce their training so that your mindset's in the mindset of doing something good every day, and then your good thing turns into the training. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was a that was a fair conversation. That wasn't. I hate videos like people just shouting at each other and stuff. Like,
Right.
there's no. It's not called a debate if you don't hear the other side. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like I think your side is wrong. I just don't agree with it and want to know why you don't agree with me. That's why.
Hey, I think we put our views out there pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I hope I didn't cut you off too much. I know that I do that sometimes.
You didn't. No, you didn't. It's fine.
But if you want to follow the YouTube, I do this pretty often. I also post political things that are going on in America. But you're a pretty cool dude from the UK, right?
Yeah. What's the Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your channel called?
It's EarthMonkey. It's the profile with the Viking horns, though. It's not the one with the cartoon monkey. It's like 380 something subscribers.
Yep. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Cool. Well, I just subscribed. If you want to know more about my views and stuff, I'm in a band, so we obviously think about. We don't go too political, but I just feel like it's so important to share how you feel, no matter what form of it. So music is the way I do it the best. So I'll just type in the Instagram for it.
Hey, I fucking appreciate you for doing that. I say stand today so we don't have to kneel tomorrow, correct?
I agree.
I mean, in reality...
This is embarrassing. I've just forgot the name of mine. Yeah?
In reality, if tomorrow calls for kneeling to an authoritarian word, we have to stand to make sure that doesn't happen, so...
Yeah.
And stand with word, with music, culture, conversation.
Exactly.
Everything but violence. I'm not saying that at all, because violence is primitive in my point of view. 1111_official. I got 3 people here watching, and you guys check it out.
Yeah, if you search it on Instagram, it'll be the it's like a your voice like went weird.
Oh shit.
Glitchy.
I was saying if you guys want to check it out, I'm gonna check it out here after the stream. I have it pulled up on another tab, but fucking you guys
yeah.
What do you play?
We're alternative rock.
Nice, man. Do you are you singing, guitar, drums?
I'm the guitarist.
Nice, man. Lead guitar or rhythm?
Lead.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm also like the one of the main songwriters. So I think it's me and the vocalist that are like the main songwriters. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Is your band 1111?
That is the name, yeah.
I fucking dig that name, man. I know 1111's a good number. It's a good band name, man.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I love alternative rock. I love rock.
Nice. Well, our new EP came out last week.
Yeah?
Our first EP, yeah.
Are you guys playing at places?
We would have been if we weren't in lockdown.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing one thing you can look into, which is highly successful actually if you can get a good following, is Twitch.
Yep, I agree.
If it's not gaming, you can also do music, and with your music,
we are in the development of live streaming and Twitch and stuff.
And what I say really too with all of that, with live streaming, the real thing that you not only pull away from it is, hell yeah, you guys are fucking playing music, creating culture, but at the same time, what I was trying to tell my buddy is like, really what it is you see these YouTube channels kind of take off, and a lot of them, it's kind of vlogging as well. to where they get into the life of the person. They figure out who they hang out with, what their buddies' names are,
Yeah.
who this
Well,
person
we're
is.
going to be doing podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And so you really find
with like
out
views. So
yeah, you really find out who these people are and what they are all about. And so it's really like you go a little bit more in depth with it, rather like your music is obviously your main focus. You don't want to lose focus on that at all and focus too much on the podcast, but in reality it's like you guys are having a good time, not only creating music but on the side.
Yeah, branching out, having fun.
Yeah. So creating that culture and that idea, like you guys are doing something right now. You're creating music, and it's something that other people should be doing to do as well. So if you do it, maybe it'll encourage somebody else to do it, because you didn't start playing music on your own. You did it because of somebody else. So, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really how I look at it. The culture is really important right now, and diving more farther into it and going to these like live streams or going into just podcast or whatever update, like it's going to generate a culture, and we really have to start doing that more so, because you're playing alternative rock, and I know you say alternative, but it's rock in sense, and you wouldn't say alternative unless you wanted other people to know that it's not just rock. You probably want to rock out because you play the guitar and fucking you want to jam and do your own thing. But you say alternative because you know it's not the best thing right now, so you say alternative.
I also know that it's not the sound that the most popular rock bands are making as well.
Yeah. But alternative brings you into the atmosphere of a little bit of hip hop.
I like to think it's a blend of another genre with it, and the fact that the one that we blend with is oddly jazz.
Hell yeah, man! That's fucking awesome. Jazz created a lot of the golden hits. When you look at all of the golden hits, they were the start of hip hop, but also
they were jazz songs like the pop. Yeah.
It's the disco era, basically. That you got the Wind, Fire, and Ice.
The root of all the most popular music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's really what it breaks down to. And I dig that, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna check out your shit for sure. You're fucking
nice. But yeah, if you follow our Instagram, it has like our links to like the website, YouTube, Spotify, and we've been a band for like 2 years now. So I feel like we're making good enough music. It's just what we need to get better at is like producing them to like a professional standard. So you know, when you go listening to the music, don't like you can't like you're not really going to go and expecting like it's going to sound like Foo Fighters. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's
regardless. I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm producing what I do off of about $60, regardless of my computer that someone else helped me get from my live streams that I was doing another time. But about $60. So regardless, you're doing it, and that's what matters. It's only going to get better as you do it. I know someone who does producing, and they do it very well. Might be able to get in contact and see if he's willing to get back into doing it.
Well, if you follow our Instagram, be free to like DM our Instagram like who it is, because I'll reply and stuff. So
no, I'm my Instagram's EarthMonkey69.
Okay.
I was born in 69th day of the year, so fucking I put that up there. I'll talk to him. He hasn't done it in forever. But I mean, if you guys are out there doing your thing, he likes what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't want to do it and give him possibly something new to do. I know he's working on a couple things right now, but hey, why not, right? You guys could be. You're talking a little bit political. Like I said, I'll check it out. I'll show him. I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, I'll check out your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. 1111 underscore official.
Mhm.
Check out the Instagram. But,
Will do.
hell yeah, man. Hey, what was your
Well, yeah.
name?
What? Oh, my name's Adam.
Adam. And what's your band? Your band name is 11. Oh, okay. Adam from 1111. I hope you have a good night, brother.
You too. You too.
All right, later, man.
See ya.
Oh yeah. Creating that culture. You gotta love it, man. That was awesome. He's out there doing it. I've been thinking about picking back up the guitar a little bit. Little guitar. Just the hard thing is I'm lefty flip, so I play all my shit upside down for the moment. I got it, but it's doesn't sound the same. I would have to reverse the strums and kind of learn a little bit deeper, but I like how it sounds. So I deal with it and work with it, but maybe I'll do a little video on here. I'm playing la guitarra. Yo, dude.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Oh, just chilling. Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden's leg hair?
It's sexy, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You'd rub that shit up and down?
Yup. I'd lick it up and down.
Hey, are you being serious though?
Yeah.
What do you think
about? I'm just fucking with you.
What do you think about Donald Trump?
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
I'd suck his dick.
He's got two of them. Which one, the left or the right?
Both at the same time.
Double fisting it. You're going skiing?
Yup.
Oh my god, dude. All right. Well, if you want to follow along on the YouTube, that's not my YouTube. That's the guy that I talked to last time. He's got a band and he's in the UK and he plays music. It's 1111 if you want to check him out too. But yeah, my YouTube's right there.
All right.
What? Word up, man. I hope you have a good night, brother.
You too. I'm in.
Hey, one last question. Where are you from?
California.
Holy shit, you need to get out of there.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen somebody shitting on the sidewalk before?
Yep.
You have?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I was going to the mall the other day and there was this lady just sitting on the freeway taking the shit.
To be honest, I'm in Arizona and I seen the same shit, so I'm not gonna put you down for that. But do you have the app that shows all the shits on the street?
No.
I heard there's an app out there.
That is stupid as shit ever.
It is stupid.
Right.
I know. But
Well,
have a good night, brother. That was dope. Wishing him the best with his band, right? 100%.
Are you Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trump 2020, baby.
It's not 2020 and he's not your president.
Yeah, dude.
No, not because you're here.
Yo. What's going on, dude?
What's up, brother?
Yo, yo.
Yo.
What's going on, dude?
Can you do this? Yeah, if you do this, if you do this and then you grab it, but I can do it without grabbing it.
Can you do this?
What?
Do you have a hitchhiker's thumb?
Oh no.
Isn't that weird? So you could do this, but you can't do this.
Yeah, bro. Everyone's got like their weird finger things.
Hey, so next time you find somebody who can do that, ask them if they can do this and see if it's the same as you, because I haven't thought about that either. But I wondered because I could do that.
Yo, somebody showed me. He said, "Can you do this?" I don't even know what the fuck he did. I'm dying laughing now because he was like fucking. I don't know. It was some weird shit where both of his fingers were just doing that.
It's
I
like the
said
turtle.
no, and I'm not even gonna try.
Can you do that, man?
No, it was a weird It was a weird version of that.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you. I hope you have a good night, brother.
You too.
Just get a good laugh. Walk out. That was good. Yeah, dude. Yo. Yo, dude.
Hey. What's up?
What's going on, dude?
Nothing.
Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden?
I think he's all right.
Why is that?
He's obviously not perfect. Nobody is, but I do support some of his policies. Not all, but some.
Which ones?
He plans to abolish mandatory minimums.
What does that mean?
It means that when somebody normally would be sentenced under a mandatory minimum, they would actually be able to have a case and a hearing.
Abolish mandatory minimum sentences?
Yes.
And is that based off of the crime that's put, or?
It could be both, but it's most commonly used for like minor drug offenses.
Oh, it's like the First Step Act?
I think the First Step Act was trying to give discretion to the judges more so.
The First Step Act was more directed at the 1994 bill. Do you know about that?
No.
So that was mainly written by Joe Biden. And in that bill, basically what was described as he specifically targeted black communities and punished them for drug offenses on a higher amount through his bill that he wrote in 1994, and Donald Trump came through with the First Step Act, overturning that, putting less mandatory minimum sentence onto offenses, and then also because there was less, people were released, and I think it was 80% of them were black out of the 3,000 that were released. Like that.
Yes.
So when Joe Biden wrote this bill, now that it was overturned by Donald Trump, basically Joe Biden's trying to re-up on that, is what you're saying?
No. The First Step Act, while it was trying to reduce mandatory minimums, did not abolish them, but Joe Biden does plan to abolish mandatory minimums, completely get rid of them.
Okay, so, but the fact is his first stance on it was to increase them, correct?
Yes, in 1994, so about 25 years ago.
And then Donald Trump came and he didn't have any stance prior, and his stance was to do this as well. And he accomplished that with the First Step Act in a little bit, just a little bit, but putting actual precedent that this needs to be put more so, and people agreed with that, and now Joe Biden's trying to make it more so.
Trying to strengthen mandatory minimums?
Yeah, make it more so.
No.
No.
He's trying to abolish them.
Yeah. It's strengthen the idea that Trump started that this is a bad idea.
No.
Well, his idea.
It doesn't really matter who started it. He was aiming to abolish mandatory minimums because they're implicitly racist.
It matters when his idea started with he wanted to increase them.
Yes.
So when you look at him increasing them, and then a popular president comes up, and he's popular because, in one sense, he did do this, and then Joe Biden continues to do the same thing after he had started in the opposite direction, trying to increase it rather than decrease. There's definitely a difference there, correct?
Difference in what?
In precedent, and who started the idea that this is bad.
I suppose so, but I'm not really understanding what you're saying.
Well, I'm just saying that the main thing you do, like over Joe Biden, is that, and what I'm saying is that idea started from Donald Trump, and prior to that, actually, Joe Biden was complete opposite of that. So I'm just saying that it's not really a strong point when you look at his past. And yes, now that he is president, it is a good thing and it's great. But is he really believing in that? Or is he just doing it because he knows that you like it? And Donald Trump, when he did it, it was a good thing. So I think it's a good thing, obviously, and I agree with what he's trying to do, but is this guy being genuine? And that's what I thought was good about Donald Trump, is he didn't read off of a bulletin board. Maybe he didn't say the best things either, and he did his own thing, and that's stupid to do, but when you look at it, is this guy being genuine? And I thought Donald Trump most of the time was genuine, whether he's being an asshole and I would call him out on it, or he was being going to call you on being genuine. And I don't know if this is a genuine thing that Biden is actually pushing, or if it's something that he knows is needed for the country now and he believes in it now genuinely, because someone convinced him, like Donald Trump, and letting the people know that this is fucked up with the bill that Joe Biden put in 1994. I mean, I'm just walking down the path of what... I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's no way I can argue against that, because whether he's genuine or not is only... And the same way with Donald Trump. Like, you believe he was being genuine with all of his acts, but there's not really a way to prove that, because that's really subjective.
Agreed.
So there's no way I can argue against that.
Agreed, but what I put it to is, it doesn't matter what a president says, tweets, bombastic about. It's all about policy, and the policy that Donald Trump actually put in. And Joe Biden is saying this, but will he actually do it? And if he does, good on him. That's a good thing. But in reality, Donald Trump actually did do it. Now, mandatory minimum sentences as a blanket, what is the blanket there? And it can be looked into, because what we're talking about is different than a blanket sentence. You know what I mean?
I don't know what a blanket sentence is.
That basically what we're talking about is mandatory minimum. Where does that mandatory minimum fit? And is it on every statute that has its own mandatory minimum, and saying that there should be none at all? So let's say that you go and steal something, right? Back in the day, my brother-in-law stole something for $15. He got charged $315 through court order, that it was a $300 fine to steal something under, I think it was $100. If it was over $100, it would be $600 fine. If it was over $500, it'd be $1,000 fine. So it just moves up, but the mandatory minimum is you have to pay this amount, right? So when we make it to where there's no mandatory minimum, my brother definitely didn't steal anything ever again because he didn't have $300 and my parents had to pay for it. So in that regard, he definitely learned his lesson. And that was fucked that my parents had to pay it and he didn't. And that they did have to pay that much. But he definitely learned his lesson that, yeah, we don't even have that money possibly to buy food, and I just had to make my parents buy this, and that $300 is gone. I'm not going to steal anything anymore, right? So, I mean, where does the threshold on that? Like, a mandatory minimum is so, like I said, a blanket statement. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, mandatory minimum on every level. If it comes down to a case that you stole my socks, what's the mandatory minimum for you stealing personal property from another person? Well, it's breaking and entering first of all, and then it's this, and then it's that. But the judge kind of groups it all together and maybe makes a minimal mandatory sentence. But at that fact, would she have to direct each sentence to make sure that it's not mandatory for each one of them, that you get an actual sentence for each one of them? Like, it's so... I don't even know. I would have to look farther into that, but what you're saying is just kind of like a general statement. It doesn't really say much. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, no mandatory minimum sentences? Like, alright, well, what about the death penalty? Or, like, what about if you kill somebody? What about battery? What about assault? Like, what if it's your third time doing assault on a woman, and you also did something else? And do we not at least put a minimum for the third sentence? Like, where, like, I don't know what you're saying. You know what I mean?
I meant exactly what I said. Abolish all mandatory minimums, because even if it's murder, which mandatory minimums are hardly used in cases that aren't nonviolent drug offenses.
They're hardly
I
used,
meant
but they
it,
are,
like,
though.
all of them.
But they are used, right? You said hardly, but they
Judicial
are.
discretion is the point.
What the...
So even if somebody murders somebody, there's still judge discretion to give a case or a sentence that's accurate to the crime.
So at that point, with the entire idea that we have a system of systemic racism, and you have a judge that's systemically racist, and he doesn't have any discretion, what's a minimum and what's a maximum, and he has no say in what's good and what's bad, and no standard, no law, no procedure, just he gets to decide. Is that more so he's dictating this person's outcome rather than going off of procedural grounds?
So systemic racism is going to exist in the judicial system, whether mandatory minimums exist or not, but the difference is that mandatory minimums are racist. So even if it's still, the whole system is still racist, getting rid of mandatory minimums actually benefits people of color.
How so?
They would be sentenced less with it. I have evidence. I mean, I'm gonna have to pull it up because this shit is all the way in my drive. But
I mean,
people of color are more often to be.
And if you put no standard on that, how does that benefit?
No standard on sentencing?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of mandatory minimums, there should be guidelines, but you should be totally allowed to go over, under, or within the guidelines of ranges. But
hold on. You're completely going back what you said. You said no mandatory, but now you're saying mandatory. By saying guidelines, that's the same thing. You go by something that's written. So what's the difference?
a guideline is different than something that's mandatory.
How so?
I said guidelines that are there to guide you. But you could go above, under, or within that amount of time.
Yes, yes. And
Up to the judge.
what is a mandatory minimum sentence?
You get a certain amount of time, no matter what, for a crime that you commit, no matter what.
And can the judge decide to go above or below that?
No.
They can't.
It's not up to the judge.
They can't decide to go above it?
No. I mean, they could.
Yeah, yeah.
If they really wanted to, but mandatory minimums, that's what that is. Mandatory, you have to. Minimum, it's the lowest you can go.
Okay, so if it's the minimal that you can go, why is it the minimal you can go? Is the crime so egregious that it needs?
Why is it the minimum?
Yeah.
Like the minimum?
Yes. And that's what I really say is you can't answer that because you have to bring it to every single instance of a minimum sentence. Your blanket idea does not represent every single crime. And when you look at murder,
exactly.
What would you say the minimal thing should be for murder?
It's not up to me. I can't get to decide that. I'm not in the position to decide that.
Would you at least say this guy should be off the streets for a certain amount of time?
It depends on a case-to-case basis.
Well,
I can't decide a sentence based on one piece of information.
Okay, let's just put it anecdotal then. I'm gonna put it into a hypothetical. Say a guy goes and kills a baby. Do you think he at least deserves a year in prison for that? To think about what he did?
Yes.
That's a mandatory minimum sentence.
How often do you think a judge would give somebody who committed murder less than a year in prison? Do you think that's ever happened before?
That's the idea. Is there's not, and the reason is because regardless, we all agree that there should be at least this amount of punishment. Now, to say I don't agree with the death penalty, I don't agree with the death penalty. To say that you should kill somebody, to say to be a maximum minimum, to say it's a maximum standard, no, but a minimum that at least there should be something in repercussion to let you know, hey, if you do this, you're gonna serve a certain amount of time. To let you know that these are the laws and these are what you'll result in. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think the bad idea is really pushing it past that, but to minimize it and to look at it in that regard, it really depends on every single aspect. And when you do have a minimum, it basically sets a standard and it lets you know, regardless, this was at this point, obviously it's not you murdering, and at least you deserve a year in a jail, which we agreed on. But okay, so if it's you doing something that we've already agreed on, that this will be this amount of time, to let you know. So that's setting a standard to the entire public to let you know, if you do this, you're gonna get this. So when you did this crime, you actually knew what you were getting yourself into. Now, to say that some people are going to try to push the limits, yes, but the fact is it is good to have some law and order. When you have anarchy, it's not good when you have big populations like what we live in. So the fact is we do need a little bit of law and order, a little bit of standard to live by, to say, if you do this, you're going to get this. And so when you take that away, and it's like, well, I could just go up there and say, well, you're being racist to me. I can go up there and say whatever, and I'm going to get a lower stance because I have no minimum standard. I have no actual standard to live by. So we actually have to have some sort of standard. I don't agree with people who are authoritarian, but the fact is like, we really have to at least have some form of standard. We really can't get away from just a general idea like this is okay and this is wrong. Like, there really is things that are okay and that are wrong. There really is things that if you kill someone, it's bad. Now, when you look at, like, you can break it down to a bunch of levels on that set. Let's say if you touch a child, that's bad, right? Every culture would look at touching kids as bad. Pedophilia is just known worldwide to be bad. That's a black and white issue. That's something we can look at and say, well, that's bad, right? So in that regard, it's not black and white here, but there should be some form of standard to at least put ourselves forward. And when I question you on it, it's really, we would have to break down every single instance. And yes, I can agree with you on some, and some I would say maybe a little bit more. But in the regard that, like, it's just the overall, that's just dangerous to me, because I think there should be some form of standard. Now, where that standard is, that should be the question, right? I'm like, in my opinion, I don't know.
Should be a standard for all crimes or just certain crimes, such as like violent and assault?
Yeah, exactly. To where it would be, what did you do? And in that case, that's really what we're talking about. And when you talk about a minimum standard, well, there's a minimum standard for jaywalking. There's a minimum standard for getting pulled over because you have a cracked windshield. Like regardless of what you say, like, there's minimum standards for murder. There's like, and I know this because I wasn't the best kid in school. I talked out a lot. I went to the principal's office a lot. I was not a good kid. But every time they would go and bring me into the principal's office, it's like, well, based off of what it says, we should be doing this. And based off of how many times and the minimum standards, you should be doing this. But we're able to do this because the minimum standard is actually this for your actual crime. So now to look at, again, every instance, if it's your third repeat offense, well, yes, you have a minimum standard for one crime, but if you do it 3 times, it's like, well, dude, we gotta do a little bit more than the minimum. But like, regardless,
It's not like that though. Like, that's the issue with mandatory minimums. It doesn't take into account your personal record or anything. So this is a hypothetical situation, but say if you get caught with anything above 2.5 grams of any drug, so that could be marijuana, that could be crack cocaine, you still get the same minimum. It doesn't matter intention, personal record, anything like that. It doesn't matter.
Well, the judge can still use their discretion, but in regards to that, I would say there is, because if it's you doing that 3 times, there's a like 3 strikes you're out kind of method. If you have multiple felonies, you get life in certain states, and especially in Arizona where I'm at, and it's 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. But what I would look at is, okay, there is a minimum standard for weed, this, and this. But really, what is the issue? Is it the fact that there is a difference between crack cocaine and marijuana? Because there definitely is. Is it the difference between the amount you have? Because let's say you have nothing on you, or let's say you have 4 pounds. What is the difference? There's obviously a difference.
It could be both of those things.
But
it could be both of those things.
There's obviously a difference there, right?
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and skip this whole thing and say the solution between both of these things is just eliminating nonviolent mandatory minimums for drug offenses.
Okay, yeah, that's very specific, and I can agree with you on that. But let me ask you this. What if you get caught with 160 pounds of meth compared to 1 gram?
Judicial discretion.
Compared to
judicial discretion.
You don't think there should be a minimum on weight issue?
No, I think it should be up to the judge. I think we have to trust that the judges were trained to do their jobs correctly.
What if the judge was part of the operation dealing the drugs?
How likely is that going to happen? How likely is that?
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at it, if it's 1 gram compared to 160, and one guy says, I'm smoking it, like, I have 1 gram of weed compared to 160 grams of weed, right? And I get caught with 1 compared to 160, and the difference would be, what are you doing with this compared to what are you doing with that? And not saying that everybody is, there's a little bit more investigation needed, but having the amount, especially when it's being dealt out, let's say you have it compared to you're dealing it at this point, right? You have, let's just bring it to like fentanyl. It's the big one, right? Fentanyl. If you have fentanyl already pre-portioned out into little baggies, and you have 10 pills of it pre-portioned out, or you have 10 pills in 1 bag, should there be a mandatory minimum for the difference of you selling it compared to you having it?
Those are different charges.
Well, they
but
are.
It's still non-violent drugs, so I say no.
Should they be different though?
Should they be different charges?
Yeah.
They are different charges.
Based
I mean,
off
they're
of-
both drug charges, but they're both non-violent, but they're both different types of drug charges.
And what is that based off of? A mandatory minimum. So what you're saying is, yes, there are different charges, and those charges are based off of exactly what you're against, is a mandatory minimum. And the reason why they are different is because of mandatory minimums. When you get caught selling something, you get this charge. When you get caught having something, you get this charge. Both of them are different because both of them are different crimes. When you release that entire thing and blanket over all of them, you make them both the same thing and have the judge decide, how bad is it?
That's exactly what mandatory minimums does, except you don't get to decide. They don't hyper-specify those different types of drug charges.
And do you think that's a
or
good
selling
thing?
or dealing? They don't hyper-specify.
Do you think that's a good thing?
No.
You don't think that's a good thing?
You
That
need
they,
to look into a case-to-case basis to every case to see an appropriate sentence.
and that's
That's what I believe in.
That's a mandatory minimum.
No. Looking case to case for specific instances, intentions, and records, that's not a mandatory minimum.
Well, what you're saying is, when you look into those cases, based off of those cases, they deserve this, correct?
Based off of judicial discretion.
And you're not the judge, but based off of these cases, you think they deserve this.
I'm not understanding.
And based off of a case, depending on what they do, you think it should be different.
Be different than what?
Than something that's worse and something that's better. Or not better, but less worse. Like being caught with 10 pills or being caught selling 10 pills. There should be a different charge for it.
There might be. There should be. They should be 2 different things.
And what is 2 different things? Let's say if they're different, they're not at the same level, so one would be worse than the other, correct? So at that point, if you get charged with this, you have this standard, and if you get charged with this, you have this standard. But there's a base minimum to where there's no point in hell you would ever be below what this is. So at that point, there's not even a chance possibly you'd be here, because it's definitely worse than here. So at that point, we have a basic standard on what we're going to charge people for based off of the crime they do.
But it's not just based off of the crime.
But it is though.
But it's just based off the crime. It shouldn't just be based off the crime, but it is. That's what I'm trying to say. With mandatory minimums, it's just the crime. But you need to take other things into account.
Like what?
Intent, criminal record,
Do you
histories,
think-
stuff like that. That matters.
Okay, so let's say intent. Somebody caught with same scenario. Someone caught with 10 on one hand that's in one baggie, or somebody caught with 10 and 10 baggies and a scale. What's intent?
What the person is planning to do with that.
What if they had text on their phone that they were trying to sell it?
Then that proves intent.
And
But what I'm saying is that you have to prove these certain things.
and once it's proven, right? Let's say that they have
Then
text,
it's up to the judge to give an appropriate sentence.
and
I still don't believe that you should be sentenced under mandatory minimums.
And do you think the sentence should be different between selling something and having something when it comes to drugs and the scenario I brought up? You think there should be a difference? Like
There probably is. I think there is.
Yeah. Well, there is because of mandatory minimum sentences. So what I'm saying is it's a lot more dangerous for you to do it yourself and harm yourself than it is for you to sell it to people and harm them. And so when the courts look at it is not only are you harming yourself by putting yourself in danger for people who are fiending for it, having the drugs and possibly taking them to yourself, but then you're also harming the other people around you and the people you're selling it to. So the reason why there is a difference in the crime is because it's more harmful. And so when you look at the sentencing and what they sentence in, they're not going to compare that to someone who does it recreationally on their own and gets caught with it going into a concert or going into a fair or whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? The basic idea is this guy is harming the public or this guy's harming himself. And the reason why there's a difference in charge is because of who they're hurting. Yes, you can hurt yourself, but if you hurt the public, that should be a different charge. And when you look at why it's a different charge, it's because it's more harmful. And so when you look at the fact that it is a different charge, well, there's a difference between regardless you taking something and you harming the public by giving it to people to harm themselves.
Okay, so then technically that's violence.
No, technically it would be a crime of you giving somebody the availability to hurt themselves.
Okay. Well, I guess then that really goes down to what would you determine violent?
Well,
I said non-violent drug charges. So if you
No.
consider that to be violent, then that mandatory minimum stays. But
I don't say it is violent because the reason that it's not a violent drug charge is because you're not harming anybody else. Because when you give it to them, it's not harming them. You don't beat them up to give them the drug. So non-violent means that you're not forcing somebody, you're not causing aggression, you're not harassing. It's very specific in the law. And then when you say drug, non-violent drug charge, means that you're giving it to somebody, but you're giving it to them in hopes that they'll do better for themselves. Just like the idea of the impeachment trial that's going on right now. Donald Trump said, march there peacefully. He gave them the idea to march there, but he said to do it in a good way. And so the way that our law is defined is it doesn't matter. Oh, she hated that. I gotta take a piss real quick. Mr. Distro, what's going on, G? I'll be right back, man. Had to grab some comida. La comida. Let's get it though. Yo, dude.
What's up, man?
I'm just
Hey,
chilling.
if you were to guess who I voted for, who would you guess?
Donald Trump. You know why?
Why?
Because you haven't skipped me.
It's a good point, man. It's funny because I'll put this hat on, and then people were like, "Oh, you voted for Trump." I mean, this is more libertarian than Trump, you know?
Exactly. And
people just don't know.
Did I call it or did I call it though?
Yeah, you called it. You called it, man. Or hey, some other guy said Kanye, and I was like, "That's actually a good guess." I kind of do look like I voted for Kanye.
What'd you think about Kanye?
He's batshit crazy. Fuck. He's not stable at all. That's what I think about him. I think he's genius in certain ways, but not to be a president.
Do you think it can be a little bit of what he's involved in? Not 100% him that's crazy, but possibly the people around him manipulating?
Oh yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't think anyone cannot be influenced around other people. Oh, you talking about like his wife and?
I mean, I don't even know who's around him, but seems like some sketchy shit's going on. He goes out and does a whole gospel church thing, which was awesome, and then right after that he runs for president, and then right after that he's batshit crazy. So I mean,
I think he just has he's got what's it called, he's got like these manic episodes. That's what I think and I think it can be like a few months or something, you know, where he's just off the walls.
I mean, it could be.
Hey, at least
being in the public and being in the public eye can definitely drive you a little crazy.
Yeah, and his mom died trying to basically reconstruct her whole entire body. Did you ever hear about that?
Nuh-uh. What happened with that?
Well, she wanted surgery, like reconstructive surgery, but she wanted to do like basically her whole body, and then dude, like so many doctors just refused, like no, like because it's too dangerous of an operation, like she has to be under for too long. And then some doctor said yeah, and then that's how she died.
What was she trying to do, like become a man? Or
no, I think she just wanted to like change, you know,
to the face,
basically Kardashian herself up or some shit.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I never heard about that. I mean, for his mom to die to that, it definitely would dawn on him. What's always been weird to me is like it seems like the Kardashians are like full-fledged the opposite of Kanye West. But Kanye West is married to Kim, so it's like, wait, what's going on here?
I don't know. It's weird, right?
It's definitely.
But I mean, what I do like about Kanye is that he thinks for himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he understands like what's like social conditioning and you know how people are stuck in, I mean, for a lack of a better word, like Matrix, you know.
100%. That's what I liked about Donald Trump. He did his own shit.
Yeah, same, man. So
I mean, he might not have said the best thing all the time, but
he doesn't help himself out at all. But
no, he definitely dug his hole deeper. But regardless, I don't really care what a president says. because it's really what he actually does domestically. Now, when he's talking to foreign leaders, you kind of want him to be a little bit more professional, but to actually be bombastic and strong, it's not a bad look as well. But on a domestic level, I don't even care what you're tweeting. I didn't really pay attention to what he actually said. It was what was actually being put into place, and I was like, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, this is gonna create this and this and this. So it was like, okay, he did this. What's the outcome, right? So,
I agree, man. I have that same thought process, but like, you know, I'll speak to some people and they have the exact opposite of us. Like, you know, I'll speak to like my girlfriend's mom, and she's like, I don't give a fuck what he did. I don't care about any of that stuff. She's like, just off of what he tweets, I can never vote for him, and I can never have him as my president.
I would. What did she say specifically, or is it just?
I can't even do the conversation. It won't even allow me to get to that point. You know.
No, yeah, you don't want to push too far.
It's
I
too.
feel you.
Yeah, it's too triggering. It's too triggering. Yeah, it's better to just leave it. You know.
I do it on here because I don't really care. I don't know too much of people on here, but I push.
Yeah.
I definitely push, but the reason I do it is because, like, dude, you're on Omegle. If you want to talk to me, if you don't, you can click the stop button.
Yeah.
In the long run, I want to talk to you. If you don't agree with me, and why don't you agree with me? And maybe if I say something, you can tell me something that make me think outside the box a little bit, or make you think outside the box. But that's conversation, right?
Yeah, but some people don't want to hear it. Like, dude, I've had these two chicks a few minutes ago just telling me Antifa is not an organized, you know, organization. They're not organized. And I'm like, dude, just go watch YouTube videos of undercover people going into their meetings. Like, they're very organized. Like,
oh, you don't
can't
even
tell me
need to
they're
say
not
that.
organized.
Tell them to go onto Facebook and type in Antifa. And you'll find different organizations. They got Antifa Portland, Antifa all around Washington, Oregon, California.
That's all
like they have
that's
actual
all I had to say. I
Facebook
was like,
groups.
yeah, that's all I had to say. I'm like, dude, they're burning their cities down every week. Like, how is that not organized? You tell me. Like, they're like, no, it's an idea. I'm like, okay, so is.
Do you know Andy No?
Don't know what. Oh yeah, Andy No. Yeah, I know he got attacked. Yeah.
I was informed, or well, I found out because I watched Dave Rubin. He was on there, but he fled the country because he was being targeted by Antifa, right? So at this point, if Andy No flees the country because he's being targeted by a group that's an idea, does that make him schizophrenic? Is he schizophrenic? Is he coming up with random ideas that these people are coming after him?
Yeah, after they hit him in the head.
Right? Like, how do you justify that? Like, at that point, okay, well,
It's
there's
pure
definitely
delusion, dude.
a group of people who want to come after Andy No, right? And if they claim themselves as Antifa, well, at least that can be called a group of Antifa, right? It's a group of people who want to kill him. And he flees the country for it. If they name
If that's
themselves,
not a terrorist group, I don't know what is, dude.
The general breakdown of that is like, how do you not
it's-
understand that this isn't just an idea anymore? It's a group of people that want to kill one specific man, at least, right?
It's willful delusion at this point, man. It's like, you know, people are so brainwashed. It's tough.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I think it's a spiritual problem more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. It's
I think it's a test of humanity right now.
It's manipulation on the other side as well, though.
Yeah, and evil manipulation.
What they really said what I take away from revolutions is their idea that in the end it'll be something that is prominent and appeals to everybody and looks very promising, but it'll take everybody down. So they say it's a person. They say it'll be an antichrist, but what if it's anti-Christian and not antichrist, right? And so separate the two, and it's like, well, this is definitely anti-Christian, it seems like.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't talking about a person that'll be brought forward, but an idea or a culture, in a sense.
I hope not, man.
Right? I hope not too, because if not, we're seeing it right now.
Yeah.
I'd way rather have it be one person than be a group or an idea or a culture, because it's a lot harder to bring down a rising culture than it is one person who's bringing up that idea of a rising culture. But when you have everybody,
well, I think the whole world, I think it's like global, powerful people around the whole world are trying to push this. So,
right, the Great Reset, man.
It's yeah, but you know what, man? Throughout history, good has always won. You know, so we have that in our favor.
You know, that's oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and the truth is like, it's like a giant boulder, man, and that weight never changes, and manipulation and lies and, you know, like false stuff, it can only hold that weight for so long. It only has so much strength until the truth becomes unbearable,
to where it breaks. Yeah, I agree. I put it to the fact that a shadow can't be cast unless there's light. If you want to see darkness, you look at a shadow. And in the same sense, overall, I forgot my point. With light and darkness,
I get what you're saying, man. Like, if evil is working right now, then God is also working just as hard.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say else, but
you know,
and yeah, in the sense that we will prevail, we will do better. I was gonna say that God, if you believe in God, you believe in religion, everything. You're from the U.S. God allowed the Revolutionary War. Lots of people died. God allowed World War I. Lots of people died. God allowed World War II. Lots of people died. Civil War. Lots of people died. Regardless, every time that did occur, we came out as better people. So, in the long run, we might have to release some demons in a sense. Get rid of some evil in order to progress into a lighter, right? Sad to say.
Yeah. I think it's just like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's like we see in our own personal lives. You know what I mean? Sometimes in our own personal lives, we have to, you know, we go through, you know, maybe we act in certain ways that, you know, aren't beneficial, and sometimes we have, you know, horrible relationships, but then we learn and we grow from it to become better, right? And I think it's the same thing, just on a macro and a micro scale, you know.
Exactly.
So it's life. It's like the universe, God, the cycle of life, yin and yang. it's the perfection. It's the imperfect perfection, right?
100%.
The balance of life. There is no rain without sun, right?
Yep.
So there's no sun without rain. Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Bring it to kind of yin and yang.
I mean, dude, life works in seasons. Everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything works in seasons. You look outside, it works in seasons. As people, we work in seasons. You know, the week works in seasons. You know.
It's great, man. Life's insane.
But hey, I'll tell you this, man. Sometimes it can feel defeating. It can be like a strange feeling. But if you look outside, the sky is still blue. The birds are still chirping. The water's still flowing. The grass is still growing. And God is above everything, bro. So
exactly.
You know what I mean? You look at the worst times in history, and good always wins. You know.
100%. Fucking. And the main fact that I tell people who don't believe in religion is don't look at the afterlife if you at least can't look at religion and the fact that alright, well, I don't really want someone dictating on me. I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't know what's going on. Well, why are you here? What came first, the chicken or the egg? What actually starts your heart to beat? It's a phenomenon that doctors can't even explain. If you can explain it to me, I mean, I would love to hear it. But the fact is we don't really know. So be grateful that you're actually here, and that tomorrow is available.
Yeah,
it's amazing to look at, right?
Yeah, man. I think people get caught up in like semantics or labels.
Yeah.
So like people are very fearful of the word God nowadays, but then they'll say the universe, you know, or they'll use I don't know, energy or something. You know, we're talking about the same thing. You know, it's just different words.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so whatever you want to call it, the universe, you know, higher being, God.
No.
It's all the same words. It's just labels that we as humans made, right?
Now, someone who more so looks into the Bible, they would disagree, possibly, and tell you that no, there is an actual God. And I don't, but I have talked to people in that sense that yes, they understand, but they do believe that there is something that's more so direct. Or I've heard people talk, and it's like, well, I mean, regardless, if you can put it to that there is a hierarchy and that we don't really know what's going on, I think that's really what's beneficial. Is if you don't know what's going on, would you want there to be better? So that's really the free will, right? That we don't really know what the hell's going on, but the free will is we have free will to either do bad or we can do good. So if you put it to the fact that yeah, I have no, even if you say you're anarchist or you're agnostic or you say that you believe in religion, the real fact of it is it's all based off of, you know, are you going to do good or are you going to do bad? Because we really don't know, and we try to base it off of things that are said when we look at religion, or we look at science when it's agnostic, or we look at a tree. I don't know what anarchists look at, but like it's really what you break it down to is that they really are trying to do better for at least a tree. I mean, like
yeah, there's a
you have some sort of hierarchy that you're trying to do better because you think this at least deserves a little bit of respect in the fact that it's better than this, right?
Yeah, and when I contemplate like God, you know, like I've talked to my girlfriend about it, and I say, well, if you don't, okay, you know, if you don't believe that there's God or a higher power or a being, whatever you want to call it, then where does our intuition of morality come from?
Where does it come from? Good question. That's the
So
always.
how do you know, like, how is it that humans, we can decide and discern
Why are we
that
even
this
here?
feels wrong and this feels right?
Ask her, why are we here? It's really the real main question. Why are we here?
To love. That's it.
You can
That's
have
what I think.
you can have a generic, simple answer, but really we have no idea. We could be here to make sure that the planet dies. We could be here
That's
to
true.
make.
We could be just the bacteria of Earth. That
Like,
has
we
come
really
to,
have no idea what the fuck we're here for. But I would want to make sure to err on the side that I don't think we're actually killing the planet. I think we're doing good. And that we're helping the planet and we're helping ourselves as well. And we're now a part of the planet's ecosystem, which ecosystem not only hurts but also helps the planet in certain things like planting trees to produce more CO2 for plants to grow more, right? But you have an
Yeah.
overabundance, and that's a problem. So, I mean, or more
But you
people.
can't think that, bro. You're a Trump supporter.
Not CO2, oxygen, but oxygen because of the people, and like, yeah, I can't think that, dude.
You're a Trump supporter. That's what they say. Like people have been
Tribalized.
Downside, to one thing. Like, you can only be one thing in one way, and
tribal.
And that. Dude, most of the Trump supporters I know are very spiritual, and they think about, exactly what the questions that we're saying now, like, why are we here and what are we doing, and but I'm sure there is, the stereotypical Trump supporter, white supremacists, all this stuff.
Yeah, and I've ran into that. It's a weird instance, but you'll get the people that, I'll ask them why do they like Biden, and they'll say because he's not Donald Trump. I'm like, that's not really an answer. But then I'll also get the people that I say, why do you like Donald Trump, and they say because he's not Biden. I'm like, well, like, okay, so you really don't know what you're talking about. You're just joining a tribe.
And that's why I think that this, more than anything, is just the surface level of a spiritual issue that people are having. Like, you're so intertwined with your identity and your belief system and what you've been told and this and that you're unwilling to unhinge those chains from your mind and your spirit and look at things objectively, right?
I disagree 100%. And the reason why, there's disinformation.
Yeah.
Because if you really you can check out my YouTube. I've talked to a lot of people who disagree with me. And I broke down their mindsets, and even when I get them, they're at the point where they like. And I even bring it to, I seen a movie the other day. I forget what movie it was, but it was a movie where they were collecting gold not collecting gold, collecting diamonds, like in the Congo or something, and these people were enslaved. And I caught the end of the movie, but basically he goes up, he finds a big diamond, he gets captured. They go and tell him to bring him to the diamond. It's got DiCaprio in it. I don't know what the movie is, but basically at the end of it,
Blood Diamond.
It might be Black Diamond, yeah, but
Blood Diamond.
Oh, Blood Diamond, yeah. But they go and the son goes and pulls the gun on the father. And it's like, holy shit, dude. You could be so brainwashed that you'll pull a gun on your own father. Now, for people that might not have their own dad or their own mom, like, they get through adoption, whatever, but just the fact that this guy actually did raise his son and that he pulled a gun on his dad, it's like the manipulation is more intense than belief at this point. You can bypass
more intense than any weapon that you can have.
You could bypass belief, and that's what's scary to me, is the belief that it's not good to kill somebody, but then you go and kill your own father.
It's crazy, man.
It's insane.
I don't know if you saw, but on the first of this month, somewhere here in America, there's a video that came out. It was like a security footage. This couple, they were in a snowy town, and then it shows this couple, and then they start arguing with the neighbor from across the street, and then they start cussing each other out. They're like, "Fuck you, you're a pussy." The other guy's like, "No, fuck you, this and that." And then the couple's like, then the guy starts going inside his house, the neighbor from across the street, and then the guy and his wife stay out there like, "Yeah, leave, you fucking pussy, this and that." Dude, the guy comes back out with a gun and then shoots both of them. And then dude, he shoots the husband and he shoots the wife. He just starts unloading. The wife is sitting there on the ground like shot. And then the guy like hides behind the car. And then the guy goes back inside. He ran out of bullets. He goes back inside. He grabs his AR. He goes up to the lady who's barely alive, and he says, "You should have shut your fucking mouth, bitch." And he shoots her in the fucking head, dude.
Oh my god.
Over an argument over snow. He was like plowing the snow on their side or something like that.
Now, let me ask you, because it's just a really difficult one, and it's really controversial, but I still stand. But do you think that guy deserves to die?
He killed himself afterward.
If he didn't?
If he didn't, do I think he deserves to die? That's a sticky question, man.
So over an argument of snow.
Oh, do I think the guy who shot them, do I think he deserves to die?
Yeah. The death penalty, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see much reason for keeping him alive, dude. You know, it's tough, but it's like, it's almost like, you know, if I have a limb and that limb is, you know, so fucked up and deteriorating, it seems like doesn't have much hope of recovering. You know, I think someone who's gone that far to do something like that, I think that up here, I don't know how much you can recover and be integrated back into society. So I think it's like if humanity were a body and then he were, you know, a finger or a thumb, it's like, I don't know, man, I think we better just cut this thumb out before it spreads to the rest of the body and does more damage.
Maybe not integrated back into society, but studied to figure out how to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing.
If you kill it off, it won't be studied and won't be looked into, in my sense. To where, yes, there is an issue, but
obviously he must have been in a dark place, and he's like, today is just the day.
Very bad, but it's like if we just killed everybody who had the common cold back in the day to make sure the common cold didn't survive, we wouldn't have known it would have been a common cold, right? Like,
yeah, good point.
I'm not saying that it's common to do these things, but to put it on a common basis and then to revert it back, it's like, well, these people obviously have issues. Where did this spawn from? Why did this guy just freak the fuck out? Like, where did it actually spawn from? Did they have an issue prior? Or is this guy just completely insane? Do you have a light that switched? I mean, like, they obviously didn't move in yesterday, right? So they were neighbors for a long time.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
they've probably been talking shit to him for a while, you know.
There's more to it, is basically what I'm saying, than just night and day or life and death, right? So when you look into it, yes, the guy might be completely batshit crazy, and he's been that way for years. But why did he snap now? Why was he batshit crazy for years?
Yeah.
Why did this
Was he on
start?
some kind of medication? You know,
Yes,
who
and
knows?
so I mean, there's all these instances that you can look into, and like, yes, it's wrong, it's not good, but how do we fix it? And I don't think just getting rid of it and sweeping it under the rug. It reminds me of Happy Gilmore when he goes and is like, "Oh, did you throw up? Let's just throw some newspaper on it real quick, and like, it'll be
Yeah.
good." It's like, no, dude, there's still throw up right there. There's still an issue. Whatever happened right there, that could happen tomorrow, and we have no idea what the fuck's going on, but people are freaking out in their neighbors and then going back in their house and grabbing ammunition. We gotta figure out what happened right there, right?
Yeah.
Killing off the issue can work if it's just one person, but it doesn't seem like it's one person. That's a story that just came out recently, but this isn't something that just happened, right?
I think a lot of those have to do with some kind of medication, man.
I agree.
That's
with
my
you.
opinion.
I
You know?
100% agree.
Like these veterans who are tripping out and stuff.
100%, man. It's dangerous shit, but that's what also scares me is like, you look at the Capitol and all the insurrection and the riots and shit. It's like some of these people are just normal people.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna not necessarily give them the death penalty, but give them a punishment that maybe not be suitable because there's a different issue that's at hand.
Yeah, it's complicated like that.
It really does, man. And to just give a death penalty, it's like, yeah, it's really egregious what he did. That dude definitely is probably gonna get the death penalty, but like, what happened?
We'll never know now. He killed himself, you know.
Oh well, yeah, sorry, he didn't kill himself, but I mean, well, why did that happen, dude? That's fucking horrible.
I mean, I've watched. There's this guy here in California. They call him like the real life Joker. And what's his name? I think it's Jamie something or something like that. But you can search him up like real life Joker. He's like in Bakersfield, California. And I've watched like this like it wasn't a documentary, but it was like audio, like a journalist made like a audio series, audio series. And you come to find out that, I mean, dude, this guy, he killed his own cellmate like within a day of them putting him in there, like 2 days. And then, dude, he made a necklace out of his cellmate's intestine, and he decapitated his cellmate.
I mean, some people just want to destroy the world,
dude. And
at that point,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. I agree.
And you listen to his story, and dude, he like, you actually kind of feel bad for him, dude. Like his life story, you know.
That's what's scary is like most of the time is a story behind it, and
yeah,
it's not really about what they did, but what they went through to lead them up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I see the real issue is, and psychologists kind of look into that, and most of them, you know, when these people go and they plead guilty, but they don't plead guilty, they plead insanity, and so they get off, and it's like, oh, that guy shouldn't have got off. It's like,
yeah,
I agree, but at the same sense, it's like, what if this guy did have something completely wrong with him, but there was a solution?
Yeah, but sometimes there isn't, you know. Like sometimes,
but there's
that dog at the dog pound, and
I look at that as I look at
You know?
that as science saying nature is just being nature. And to me, that's not good enough. Why is nature being
But
nature?
nature's fucked up sometimes, you know.
But why?
I don't know.
That's the question. And so when we go and just
That's a good question.
When we sweep it under the rug again, it's really the real question is why, and I don't think we should.
We got to do our best to figure it out.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Killing it off seems like it's not the best. It's a solution. Is it the best solution? I don't believe it is. And in that sense, like, definitely don't let them out, lock them up, and do what you can. But and in the same sense, there should be a difference between the two. Lower level crime shouldn't be as intense, but higher level crime should be, and we should be also studying into it and seeing why this person acts this way. And it might be like human testing, but at the same sense, it's like this person obviously isn't acting normal.
Yeah.
And if we can figure out why, we can maybe help the next generation.
Yeah, you're basically taking like a medical approach to it, right? It's like this person is sick, basically. This person has become very sick. So
not even did they become sick,
why
or
this person is
that they are mentally unstable. It's not even sick. It's not an illness. It's just their mental capacity, and that fact. I'm interested in why they act that way. So, like, look into old dictators and world leaders who fucked over the world, and it's like, how do we prevent this from happening? Well, we don't want to burn everything to state what they actually said and how they acted, because we can study that and make sure that someone else doesn't do that, right? So, in the same sense that, yeah, Hitler is a bad person. Hitler's a horrible person, but we still talk about him so that we can learn about how not to do it. If he wasn't around, someone else might do the idea, and we wouldn't have no idea what this guy's doing. He's going to try something new. So, who knows? But the fact is like, yeah, we should look into that and say, okay, this is definitely bad. Why did he do this? Let's try to study as much as possible on why he did it and try to prevent that. So it never happens ever again, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I haven't really thought that much about it, but you got a valid point, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, I'm not saying you have to agree with it or anything like that, but it's definitely something to look into when there's an issue, and the issue isn't gonna go away if we just sweep it under the rug. In sense, you know.
Definitely, yeah. I agree. I think it's very logical.
I appreciate it. I got it from someone else, but I got the realization and put myself through the situation. It was like, well, yeah, like, why aren't we looking at the issue rather than just getting rid of it? But I'm repeating myself 3 times.
Yeah, and no, but you got a point, and I mean it's not only with those extreme cases, but it's with anything, right? Like, you know, why you know, why are people resorting to gangs? Why are people resorting to selling drugs? It's anything. It's right, and then teaching people, and then hopefully people will learn and, you know, take that self-responsibility and
at least think about it. Not necessarily take it to gospel or say that I'm spreading the word, but necessarily just
have the
idea.
conversation.
Yeah, have a conversation about an idea, and hopefully.
Amen, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. What was your name?
It's EarthMonkey on YouTube.
Okay, for sure. I'm Jay, man. Nice meeting you. I'm gonna check your YouTube out and have a good night. We're live right now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
great conversation, right?
Okay. Peace, man. Have a good night.
You as well. Later, man.
Bye.
Papa Titty.
What?
Papa Titty.
Dude, are you Andy Milonakis?
Papa Titty.
What?
Papa Titty.
What does that mean?
Papa Titty, bro.
What does that mean?
Just pop one.
Like-
Pop out a titty. Like, whip out one of your fucking boobs.
Like, basically, if I had fake shit, like, go and pop it and make all the silicone come out.
No, like, whip out your boobs is what it means.
Man boob?
Dude, did you know Lil Nas X got boobs now?
Does he?
Yeah, he fucking...
Oh, he froze up. Yo, dude.
How's it going?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Hell yeah. Hey, what do you think about Joe Biden? No?
No.
What do you think about Donald Trump?
It could be better, but
Could be better. How so?
the attitude's funny. I mean, I just feel like he's a little too extreme sometimes with his words. And that's why people don't like him.
Yeah, agreed. What about his policy?
I personally think that he did really good for the economy, especially during COVID.
Oh yeah.
And Biden just raised the tax rate to like 28, I think 28%.
Yeah, he's raising the minimum wage. It's gonna lose millions of jobs too.
Yeah, that's common like economics.
Yeah,
But,
in the middle of an almost depression, where everybody is not able to afford to even run their business, he's gonna force people to pay people more.
Yeah, pumping like $1 trillion into the just handing out money.
Yeah, 1.9 trillion. I still haven't even got my first stimulus.
Guess he just forgot what inflation was, but
Right.
you know,
Hey, it's the Great Reset. We gotta tear it down, right?
yeah.
But I hope you have a good night, brother. I hope you follow the
too.
YouTube too.
I will.
Oh yeah. Well, peace, man.
Peace.
Yeah, it's about 1 o'clock here, guys. I'm about to crash out. I hope you all have a great night. Francisco Nori, Euler, Nas Cemento, Distro, Stephanie Johns, everybody together. You've been trolled. 2K2K. Hope you all have a good one. Thank you for coming in and stopping by, saying hey, leaving a comment. If you like the video, I hope you press that thumbs up. Back tomorrow, do a little update, do my history compared to today, and then I don't know if I'll be going live, but I might do a couple clips. I still have to upload last Maga Hat, so probably be uploading clips rather than going live. But if I don't see you, hope you have a good night. Always a good day tomorrow. Peace.